Hi and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I am Mr. C, a Veruca critic. How are you doing? I'm having a hectic week, but I'm fine. I hope you're doing better than me, to be honest. But anyway, on on Nollywood Film Club, we had an interesting discussion. We discussed a collection of films. We start with some of the dump that Prime has done recently on their platform. We'll go through some of the Prime films. We'll discuss other Nollywood films people have been watching on various platforms other than Prime. And then we'll do non-Nollywood films. And then I think as a summary, we'll go around and we'll ask people to give a recommendation of a film and something to avoid. But yeah, the general gist was we just wanted to gather and catch up on what everybody had been watching. I thought it was fun. So I hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club having a catch up.
I should do the intro, I guess. So, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do discuss Nollywood movies every Sunday. This Sunday, we will be discussing all of the movies. Every Sunday. All of the movies. Don't excuse me. Look, I am the template. Whatever I say is the introduction, and then everybody else copies. This is anyway. So yeah, we discuss movies every Sunday. So this Sunday we're discussing whatever we've caught, whatever we've been watching over the past week. There's a bunch. What caused this, to be honest, is that there's been a recent fire hose of Nollywood of Nollywood content, and I honestly could not pick anyone, and didn't really want to force anybody to consume any of these things. And I had seen a couple myself, and I just didn't have the energy um, to to watch a new one or make other people watch the ones that I watch for the most part. So I was like, hey, you know what? Since everybody has Prime has dumped all this content, maybe somebody has watched something out there they want to recommend, or maybe you've watched something out there you want to get off your chest how you felt about whatever you saw. So yeah, we're just going to go through that, and then we'll also like just generally talk about movies outside of Prime and maybe even Nollywood. So let's start with some of the Prime stuff that people have been watching. I don't know who wants to kick us off with some of the stuff you've been watching.
Fine.
All right.
I was terrified because you guys, when I saw the post, was like, "Oh, recommend." I was like, "Ha, Shemoli recommend the anything bound." I don't know if I can recommend. I tried. I did try. I started watching the Nollywood Fire was on Prime. I've given up. I won't lie to you. Plus they've also kind of gone silent. I don't even. Did they release anything yesterday?
They didn't release it. It's like it's like they're finished.
No, but I thought there was stuff coming for the rest of March.
Let's, you know what kept me up has
Yes, I've been using their thing. But anyways, I tried to watch the two Aishas 0/10. Do not recommend. Um, love
wow.
Rahama, love Rahama Saudal, but let's not keep doing this to my baby girl. Um, I also watched Rush Hour 2.53/10. You know, I didn't mind it only because, and that half of the 1.5 of that three is because Alex Ekubo is a fine man. Um, I'm sorry, and then the other 1.5, I don't know.
Sorry, Vanessa, what was Rush Hour about?
Oh, what was Rush Hour about? Okay, yeah, it's Rush Hour. One young girl, Sandra Okunzuwad. She's dating one young boy in the neighborhood. He do want to become a musician. But her mommy own a neighborhood restaurant called Rush Hour Restaurant. As you can tell, that's where the name of the film came from. And I'm sorry, that film belonged. If that film was on YouTube, you know what? I will not be saying what I'm saying now. But Alex Ekubo is a rich Igbo man, Odogu man that have money. He's looking for girlfriend because his previous girlfriend defrauded him. She carried his money and ran away. But apparently, he don't know how to talk to women, so he do used to use his sister as go-between. One day, his friend carried him to Rush Hour restaurant and he saw Sandra Okonzowa. Beautiful girl, very well mannered, shaping her mommy in the shop. He said, that's the girl I want to marry. He now called his sister to come and help him look for wife and talk to the girl. But the girl said, no, I'm in love with my boyfriend, my poor boyfriend that is trying to blow as a musician. As you can tell, this went on for quite a while.
This is interesting. It's like the old trope of
Yes.
this old trope.
Exactly.
I guess
Exactly.
what worth asking is why did it what made it flop? Or is it
What
just
made
like
it flop was just a waste of my time. They didn't get anywhere. Like, okay, fine. What about this girl did you like? Do you like beyond the fact that she's well mannered and she's helping a mommy in the shop and she's a fine babe? And also, what about her boyfriend? They did nothing to explain to us why she liked her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was a typical young boy in the hood trying to make it. He would come to her mommy shop and help her wash plates. I get it, people have been doing love from time immemorial. But the way let me tell you what it was, the way they framed what's it called? What do you might call it? What do they used to call this in English is running away from my head.
the
The
structure,
description of a film.
the plot?
The synopsis?
Synopsis. Thank you, Ika. Everything English has been running away from my head since. The way it was like, oh, her longtime boyfriend was thrust into fame. Ronke is torn between a love she's known and a love she's wanted. On the prime one, it was like, she has to choose between peace of mind and menene, menene, menene. And I was like, huh? And that didn't really come true because it took at least 1.5 hours of the film for her boyfriend to be thrust into fame. So
Oh, God.
the conflict didn't come. So I was just stuck there watching Alex Ekubo put on and have ER and RNL
One of
factor
the
with
nice.
and trying to convince her to be his girlfriend by giving her work in his company because she's a good accountant, she's good with numbers. And I see, this is the thing. And then when the boyfriend got thrust into fame, guess what her main issues was? He's hanging around with bad boys, he's smoking cigarette because she tried to get him to quit smoking. And people are now knowing her face on social media. So she doesn't want that life. She wants peace of mind with an older man that has money. Rate the hustle, to be honest, but like we could have gotten to that in like 30 minutes. I'm
Wow.
just saying.
She was supporting hustling musician boyfriend. She don't know we blow.
She knew he would. That's what her friend said. That didn't she know that he would blow? Is it the plan for him to blow? That also he has always been a smoker. He just quit because of you. Now that he's in the limelight, of course he's gonna want to smoke to feel among. These were all the things you should have thought about.
Wow.
Before-
Is anyone else on the speaking this in
Watch Russia.
Russia restaurants? Can they
It's
testify
not Rush Hour
to
restaurant. It's Rush Hour.
I wanted to watch it though.
all right, okay.
You
But
can
I
That's
was
as
a
close.
busy person.
you go
I am.
watch.
I wanted to watch it, but I'm a busy person. So
All right.
no,
I,
I'm saying like honestly, my job was
Is
too
that
much.
shade? Me, I'm not busy.
It's not shade. It's not shade. It's not shade. It's not shade. It's me that have a job that takes too much. So it might be shade, but at least I am the one that is actually dealing with a job that takes way too much of my time.
Defense.
So
all right. Is anything else? Anything else? Anybody else
Yes.
watch? All right, go
I
on. Okay.
also
I
watched it through Aisha's. It sucks. I don't think there's much to add there. And then I watched
What
Hotel La Bamba, I think it's called.
Hotel La
Um,
Bamba? Yes, the building
yeah,
season
it
on
was
Sunday.
funny-ish.
I will bring us back to be honest with you, because
Yeah,
No,
we
like
started.
it had
We,
it had
we
it
stopped
was
after 6 minutes.
It's
I
not a
think
good story. That's all I know. But it was funny. It's just that the murder mystery. I mean, I'm more forgiving of this movie than The Weekend to Forget and the rest of them because it at least did
that,
something right. That's all I'll
that a
say.
weekend to forget.
The,
Really?
I mean, isn't that a murder mystery?
And I no, I'm just surprised that you're more forgiving of Hotel Alabama. I didn't actually finish the movie, by the way. I only did 6 minutes, but
I,
those
I
six
think
minutes,
A Weekend to Forget did not have anything at all going for it. Like, not location, not actors, nothing. And so I think this movie had like a better, more watchable cast and somewhat more funny. But the murder mystery was nonsensical. The actual plot of it was so dumb. But yeah, no,
and this is going
that's
to be a recurring theme for me. My 6 minutes of Hotel Alabama was filled with what made me quit was number one, it just this person absolutely doesn't care about like filmmaking, right? Like
yeah.
they don't care about film, right? Like they're just like we've got people, and then it just felt like one of those things where people were just going to be shouting and ad-libbing throughout, or like oh,
Yeah, there was a
I
good
know my
amount of
lines in
that.
my head. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I get it. Okay, I get it. Well done. No, thank you. Not in the mood.
Well,
Uh,
the two Aishas is like the exact opposite of that. Basically, they just did nothing for like an hour and a half. It was supposed to be some tension and fighting, but it was like I don't know. There were two Aishas, so I
right.
think it was just like a Muslim or Islam, like, promoting Islam, but it really did not serve a plot or storyline of any kind.
Yeah, Vanessa, so you saw the two actions.
Why, yes, I did. It was the first of the prime dropouts that I watched. And yeah, you know what? Kashama Dupe. Because it was, do you know the weird part? I was actually, no, I wasn't excited, but I was moderately intrigued because it had Ramat Sadao and then it had this babe. I'm trying to remember her name, but she was one of the girlies in Beyond the Veil, the one who actually speaks Hausa, right? And I was like, okay, Fez, I'm gonna watch this. And I on my television. And the first scene, I was like, I'm gonna give this a chance. I'm going to give this a chance. The men obviously they don't speak Hausa because I don't think these men are Hausa men in any way, shape, or form. Is what's his face? I'm trying to remember his name. He was the what was he not the one who used his money to make one like small art film like this that we watched and reviewed one time on it was also on Prime. I'm trying to remember his name. But he started on like one of these AM shows at least. I saw the first time I ever saw him was on Hush. I think it was on AM Hush. Anyways, the two men don't speak Hausa. And then the first scene, we saw tension. They are standing at a I don't know birthday party, but there's also like political undertones as and also I don't know what it is with Nollywood and making northern based shows center around and always have like a political backdrop, which is probably also why I kind of like Beyond the Veil because it has absolutely nothing to do with that. But like apparently both these men are part of like a political party and one was going to be nominated for something and then all of a sudden they go to their party rally and they say no, I've been at a party meeting and they say it's not you because you are a tax evader. We're gonna give it to this other guy who is his family friend because the wives are two Aishas and they grew up together. All of a sudden, my guy thinks the other guy and his wife colluded with the party to turn him away, and so they had eternal beef. And it was just turning on you, basically. I don't know.
That's a good summary, actually. A great summary.
He was
More
just
generous
turning
than
on
mine.
you.
I think the thing with Nollywood and Islam is that they don't want to offend. And so they just pick the safest route they can think of, which for drama, which is politics. Because then you have to start thinking of things like, do you want to imply that men and women are doing any other drama other than politics? I don't know, but it's boring.
It's
Um,
boring and played out. I'm
and it's
sorry.
played out, and there is nothing new. They didn't add anything new. Even the purpose of naming it to Aisha, I don't know. They will pretend they're fighting, have a tense call, and then they'll see each other in public and like, "Hi, Aisha." Like, okay,
Mhm.
I don't care about this. So, it was long. It was
Oh, also,
over
and
an
there was
hour
random
too.
cancer apparently thrown in somewhere, as
So
per
yeah,
usual. Like,
I was thinking there was this. This is not a this week watch, right? But it's just in the vein of Nollywood touching, like I guess Islam wasn't a theme, but they were
no.
Muslims. But oh god, I can't remember what it was now. I think Ibrahim Suleiman was in it. Sophia Lakija, Rahama as always. And there was drama there, but it was
Oh, the one with Gabriel Afolayan on Netflix.
yes, the
Yeah,
one with
yeah,
Gabriel Afolayan. Yeah,
yeah.
there was drama. That wasn't political. It was,
Yeah. There was contract money drama, I guess, or one
there
person.
was some scamming, some
Yeah,
kidnap,
yeah,
some
yeah.
secret wife.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah.
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 But it was also kind of not good, but
It
Yeah,
wasn't good, but at least it
yeah,
wasn't played out and boring, I will
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
I,
back to Biodu Stevens. Sorry, before I forget. I watched, to
This
my
your love.
chagrin, Different Strokes.
oh,
Mhm.
good.
And I must say, I want to give everybody that work on that film different strokes of the cane. Because how dare they? How actually dare they? I'm sorry. I love Biodu Stevens. But we have to have a come to Jesus moment at some point at Biodu. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm
Oh
sorry.
God.
I'm so sorry. We need to reassess our partnership with Inblock because it's not working. None of them have worked. Let's not let Jen, I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
And for all the Mercy Johnson truthers, I wish all of you well. But for goodness sakes, that woman don't know what she's doing.
Ah,
Hey,
Ah,
it's a
hey, that's
lie.
beautiful personal problem. People can
It's
shout
a lie.
from now
It's
to
a lie.
tomorrow.
I
Go
haven't seen this
and watch
one.
did you see
Different
Palava?
Strokes.
Did you see Palava
I
with
saw
Aaron?
I
Palava.
will watch
Oh
for
my
I
god,
I saw
that movie was atrocious.
see, I'm so sorry,
Rivaling Chief
guys.
Daddy.
I'm so sorry, guys. And then you now have a mix of Jim Ike and Mercy Johnson playing a couple. Haba.
the Nollywood ensemble genre is one of the worst.
And
yeah.
then I'm
It's actually
supposed to
the
buy.
worst.
I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to buy that Shafi Bello is Jim Ike's mother.
What?
No, let's
No,
no
it was
now. Kamabara we.
it was
No,
so
let's be
bad.
so
Like,
for
and the
real.
thing is that it's not as bad as Chief Daddy. It's worse than Chief Daddy. It's rivaling Chief Daddy too. It's like I
Jenny,
didn't know why they bothered. Like, why did we do this? Like, what was the point?
Oh,
it
wow,
was
wow.
so bad. It was. I don't.
Yeah, like I said, like I think Nollywood has that the ensemble, some ensemble genre. Nollywood film is actually they've been quite bad
Mm.
for quite a while, and I think it I don't know whenever like I'm actually very skeptical of number one the script writing for all these different characters, whether at the script writing stage somebody knows that they're going to be able to get 10, 12 different stars to star in this movie. And the problem with that is that when you don't know this, and when you actually then get stars, if the scriptwriter doesn't know this, if you then go to your get on the stars, then all stars are going to be fighting for extra meat on their role and trying to do a little bit more than they used to. It's what it always looks like. It's what it looked like for me with Chief Daddy back in the day. And I think the only one of these ensemble movies that have worked has been, and it's not like it's without its issues, but it's definitely the best out of them is Introducing the Kujus. That's the only one for me that I think I was like, oh yeah, okay, no, that works, and that's because that one's perfect in the sense as it gave everybody number one is a family, right? So they're not having randoms just turn up. But even sometimes with the ones where they're doing family, we're still messing that up. So to be honest, but yeah, the Nollywood ensemble genre is a problem. Is a problem. It's a big problem.
I think that problem started with, I don't know. Do you guys remember this movie? It came out, I think, in the 2010s with like it was an hotel, Genevieve, and all these big stars were in it, and
Oh
like
my
they went to the
God.
resort. I think it started there because it wasn't always bad. Because Games Women Play is an ensemble Nollywood drama, and that movie was good.
Is it, which one came out first? Is it Gamesmen Play or Games Women
No,
Play?
Games Women Play is old. It came out. No, Games Women Play is old. That one was good. Games Women
There
Play
was
came.
also James Men Play, and they came out at
Yeah,
in the same
same. Yeah,
era. But which one came
I thought
first?
Gamesmen Play was. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, I think it might have been I don't know who introduced it. I actually remember this being a Ghanaian thing that we imported. I could be completely wrong, by the way, but I remember Ghanaians do this. Everybody, everybody come together in a house and secrets and stuff and secrets are
Yeah,
uncovered.
yeah, that's
I
what. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that
yeah.
Ghanaian that movie with Genevieve and they all went to this like what's it called, resort, and like
Mm,
Jemima was in it and they were all doing this crazy. It came out around the time of that Ghanaian something something. Games Women Play was older than that, but it came out around the time when the Ghanaian influence and the Ghanaian something was very very popular, and it was atrocious.
yeah.
It was atrocious, and I was like, what is this? This doesn't make any sense. Absolutely
Um,
nothing.
I'm with you. All right. Is there anything else anybody has been watching?
I just wanted
Nothing.
to read the trainer's comment saying I've noticed that they've been trying to pass off Jamaica as a young boy in quite a few movies lately. In Passport, I think he was supposed to be a kid in his late 20s or early 30s.
I think
Yeah,
30.
when they said 30,
30. I
I
think
think
it
it
was
was 30 on
30
the dot.
dots.
When they said 30 in Passport, I
Hey,
laughed.
hey,
I laughed.
hey.
But I
I
just think
wonder if he's the one
they should.
including that in his
I think
contract.
it's him.
It
Like
must
I
be.
it
think
would
it's
be
him.
the funniest thing if somebody came out and was
I
like, Jamaica
I think
insists on
it's
being under 30.
him. I think it is him. I think it is him, and that
All
is
right.
very sad. He
Hey,
needs to be progressing to his Zaddy era, right?
Because he should be playing daddies. And
Yes,
he keeps
simply,
playing, oh, I just
simply.
graduated. I'm like, from where? Like
There is room. There is room for sexy
After I
older
let
man.
cast Olumide as a man, they are making him a father. You people know, you people need to have your priorities in order. How do they
We
date
definitely
somebody's
have
daddy?
room. We definitely have room for sexy older man in Nollywood. And I need just do it with grace, right? You've played the young
R&B does
boy.
sexy older
You
man. But
Yes,
it's
there's
always
room for
age
more.
appropriate
Ramsey
sexy
Noah has
older
played the
man.
sexy older man.
Yeah, like other people are certainly
Graduate. Your
please
mates have entered that side. Enter with them. You're not a campus boy anymore. You're
when he
not.
should be playing Shafi's husband, his player
You
husband. But
should
come
his
on.
husband.
Hey, thank you.
you guys.
No, but it's true though. And look
Okay.
at Shafi.
All
Hey,
right.
babe.
Okay. All right. Rotimi, what have you been watching recently?
The stuff I actually recommended that day that we were taking recommendations that you picked Green Fever. I was like, it blooms in June by Korede Aziz. For me,
Yeah.
I saw most of all the Amazon, like the mass dump that everybody did, and I'm like, the only thing I could wrap my head around that I could try and finish, and I liked at least this sound looked like a decent premise. It's not pulling up any trees, but just a decent premise was in blooms in June. And I know if anybody hasn't watched it, it's basically a father daughter story. Their mom passed away when the daughter was very young. Down the line, a couple of years later, the girl has grown up, pretty much a teenager. So her and the father have kind of bonded. So it's almost like in the space of the mom that passed away, the father kind of like her and his daughter are very close. But the daughter now wants to like move and go to school, university outside. They are based in Abuja, and the daughter wants to go to school, I think in Lagos and everything. And the dad is like reluctant about it. Then they have a new a new set of neighbors. So a guy and a single mom move in next door. So the guy and the girl kind of like starts the guy we get this kind of girl next door, a boy next door, like, and the guy's like, oh, I'm new in town, show me around and everything. They start having like some kind of friendship. The boy wants more, she does like, look, I'm not sure, but then the single mother kind of starts getting friendly with Femi Jacobs. So it's that whole dynamic and everything. Was decent to watch. It was decent to watch, just like a father and a daughter story and everything. Just something different from the usual Nollywood stuff. Femi Jacobs, this is my best Femi Jacobs role since like the meeting. Like it just, I think this role fits him. I don't like, he's probably done a couple other things, but this role fits him. Then the other thing I've been watching that I'm like, since I don't know if it still falls under the category of Nollywood, Ebuka turns up in Africa. It's fun to watch. The clothes for me is the fashion. The boys are decked out. The fashion designer Eds. The fashion stylist.
Wait. We'll get that. We'll enter this one because I think Vanessa and maybe somebody, some other people here.
Okay.
So we'll get to that yet, but I want to give a Blooms engine, I guess, some weight because we didn't discuss this, and I do agree that it's the best of the bunch of the things that I've seen. I would say that it is very much a Roman Palo film. Like if I saw it on YouTube, it probably wouldn't stick out, but at least it's inoffensive. It does have an older couple love and a younger and like almost teen romance in there, and they try to make it. They try to give the teenage the romance some weight. Yeah, I thought that was all right. To be honest, did anyone else watch Blooms in June, Vanessa?
I didn't watch Blooms in June, but I wanted to mention something on YouTube.
Okay.
No, can I? You said
Wait.
what have you been watching? Must it be Prime and Netflix?
No. We'll get to that. I'm just trying to arrange this thing. Does anybody else?
I didn't hate Blooms in June. I didn't hate Blooms in June.
Yeah, Blooms in June is on my list, but maybe we should watch it sometime since it's actually good. You know?
He said it's the best bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the best of the bunch. Yeah.
But you know what? Yeah, maybe we should save it for a rainy day.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I haven't finished it yet.
Really? You didn't finish it?
I didn't finish it. No, I think I went out.
Okay. All right.
I haven't finished it.
All right. Okay.
I mean, because to be honest, I wasn't really sure how they were going to resolve that.
Because
they did all right.
They did all right. I think
fair enough.
Okay.
What else have we been watching on Prime?
We're talking about the boys, the Prime. What do you call it? Big boys.
No, I don't know. It's like Prime is kind of doing
big doings.
They did different strokes as well. Did you already say different strokes, Vanessa?
I did.
Yeah,
okay, I was like, I heard Shafi. That's where Shafi and James came from. But Prime is just doing. They're doing like they're sort of like one step above YouTube in storyline, and I don't understand it.
It's different strokes. The one that forgot to put a cover.
One a poster.
A poster, yeah.
Yeah, it might be. I can't remember.
I think so. One film forgot a poster.
All right, Boys Trip Big Doings.
I did not watch that.
Wrote to me. When you again, I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, that was just like, look, it's just like in all the aspect, just even as in, I don't know if it was produced in Nigeria because I think I saw the credits going to like maybe a South African company, but it looks good. Like you have like all the, Jimmy, Timini, you have Zubi, you have Ebuka, they're all dressed up. The person that did their fashion styling for the show went out of their way. They spent money, so they go to visit nice locations and everything. Then they have some drama going on and everything. At least it's entertaining to watch, at least, you understand? And you have some handsome men visiting some beautiful places and everything. So yeah, that was I can say, at least I can say, okay, come go and check that out just for people to watch. Yeah, that's just it.
Yeah, I agree that the show was it was interesting. And the visuals were very nice. It's just that watching a lot of these actors in quote unquote real life, you could see all their characters. Like Timothy, for instance, every single movie he's ever been in suddenly made sense. Like everything all made sense at once as soon as he opened his mouth. So I think in that way it was enlightening.
Yeah.
Than Real Housewives of Lagos season 1.
Hey, you know what? No, but I will say I kind of liked Jimmy more. So
Okay.
no. This is coming from someone who was probably is still obsessed with like the Hennessy cipher and like the Hennessy VS class. And Jimmy, I always saw Jimmy as like a host who cared about rap and like was the hype guy. And I was like, okay, good on him for living his best life and like pursuing what he wants to do in life. And this didn't make me hate him. Like I didn't like him before, but like this didn't make me hate him. Unlike some people, I don't hate anybody, but like what I said was quite enlightening. Also very enlightening that Ebuka is just an instigator, one, and probably just a laid back, chill human being. Who knows?
Sorry. Did you say he was or is not an instigator?
I say he's very much an instigator.
Yes, but that makes sense considering he hosts Big Brother.
That's what I'm saying. Like what I said was just very
eviction night he's instigated.
Everybody made sense.
It's
It
just
was like, okay, your careers all make sense now.
literally that's all it did.
what I
It was
got from
basically
that.
confirmation bias. Like that's what it was confirming all my biases. And I was like, that's fine. I'm good with confirming my biases, to be honest.
There's a rapper involved. Maybe that's why Timini, because like I obviously I didn't watch it, but I saw the small drama that came out of it about who is bigger and all of that. And for me, I was listening to Timini on a podcast where they asked him like about it, and he was saying like, oh,
where it matters.
He said like it wasn't personally with Zubi, that he is saying that he is just the biggest actor, that is him talking his. And he's talking his shit, like, like, and that's how it is. Like, this is, I was like, whoa. Does this guy think he's an MC? Does he think he's a rapper? Because that's hip hop culture about, being the best out there. Acting is actually the opposite. In acting,
exactly.
He said he was the biggest, as in something that is easily verifiable.
And he was like, I'm the most. And the one that pisses me off, because this is not the first time he said it. He said it in multiple occasions or multiple interviews. He's the most bankable actor from Africa. And I'm like, my G, a couple 1 billion and a couple 100 million movies in cinema, in box office, doesn't make you the most bankable actor in Nigeria. Especially if those films are Funke Akindele films. Funke Akindele is the most bankable actor in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could be
Funke Akindele is the most bankable actor
make
in
$1 billion.
It's just that
the most
simple.
bankable person.
Literally.
Everybody else is just riding her coattails, really.
Exactly.
It
She
was
could have
weird
casted
that
any other people around her, and
it was
that film would
weird
still have
that he
made
was
1 billion.
it was just weird that he was trying to pass off saying it that, like, that's what we do here. Because, like, in acting, it's the opposite. In acting, it's a collaborative effort, and like you build off of the other people, and that's why like at the Oscars, you see people going to, they're always thanking this person and that person for like making them like I wouldn't be here without this person, or you all elevated me. Like, I don't know where he thought like being like like saying you're the biggest, baddest person in Nollywood was an acting thing. That's what they do in acting. Just made me that was just
Excuse me.
Nollywood do something like that.
Yeah, it's just it's not a thing.
It's just not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Not saying anyone going, no, I'm the best this in Nollywood.
He's trying to cover up for his ass.
I just want to like ask, did you say Timinini was the one that said that he's the biggest actor in Hollywood?
Yes.
Is he being serious?
Most bankable
When there's
in
like Ramsey
Africa,
Noah there and all those other people are there, and like what does it mean? It's not even like he hasn't even and you guys know that he is, what's it called? What is this thing called? when your mother is in the something and your
Oh,
parents
Oh,
Nepo
are.
Margie is
baby.
a nepo kid for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
yeah,
nepo
yeah.
kid.
Nepo
And
baby.
he hasn't
Margie
like
was
he
is a
hasn't
nepo baby. Let's see.
it is so like even if you're saying big like everything, even A list, whatever, you're not really you like what are you talking about?
Not that guy.
It's
You're
not that
not
guy.
He's not
He's not
that
that
like
guy.
again, do majority of Nigerians know you?
guy.
The
See, this
majority
was
of
this
Nigerians.
was the
I'm not
argument.
talking about
Oyinka.
okay, middle class people going to
Oyinka, this
something.
was the argument. I'm so see. Thank you.
Like
Somebody who
What's
has
the
a
Adebayo is
argument?
bigger
conversation.
than him.
He did because I think I saw like a snippet from an interview he was doing, right? And he was trying to phrase
Oh
it a
my
certain
god.
way, which was like it was gonna come out if he had completed it. He was heading towards something quite classist, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like
Amongst
amongst
the
the
people
people
who
who
and they're like
and
completed.
complete it and he didn't complete it, and it was heading on a classist tangent.
He should have
It's
completed it
Oh
because he already did the
my
classist thing on the show.
gosh.
So I don't know. He should have just
Hmm?
do. He should have
But
just
anyways, the show itself was fun, so that's not the
No.
show's
exactly.
problem. The show itself
Uh, yeah.
was
Okay.
it
Yeah,
was
I
I,
probably
just
I'm, I'm glad it was fun because I
it
honestly
had
did not
some
expect.
drama.
I did not expect a show following men to be interesting. So
Yeah, I mean the fact that they were willing to be catty with each other, which is what this is, helped. So all in
I
all,
appreciated them putting in
I
the work.
appreciated that they had some drama and it
all right.
wasn't just, some men wearing suits and walking back and forth. So
Okay. Anything else, Elizabeth? Do you want to tell us? Have you watched anything on Prime recently? I know you've been
busy.
busy recently, but anything you've been watching on Prime? I don't know. Okay, maybe Elizabeth already ready. There's
Sorry, did you
something.
call my name?
Yes,
Yes,
Look, I'm in
yes.
Nigeria and my internet is like 3 years behind. Sorry, I heard this
we're
bad.
impressed you could make it on, to be honest.
Yes. No, we're asking whether you've seen anything on Prime recently.
You guys help me. So my life has been like really busy, but sometimes I'm like, let me watch Nigerian film to not think about all the stress.
To calm
Tell
your
me why I've
nerves.
not passed like 2, 3, 4 scenes in anything on Prime. I tried to watch
why will you watch Nollywood to not think about
my
stress?
sister,
I don't
please. I tried to
understand.
watch It Blooms in June.
Oh,
Or
that's the best of them.
and I was like, yeah, something is happening, right? And first, was that makeup for the sick person. I was like, God, what am I about to start? And then I was really, really hoping that something happens. It's very hallmarky, but I don't know if it's that I have outgrown my like the first scenes felt. I don't know what was going on, honestly. Maybe I felt like something should be happening more than what was happening, or was it too slow, or was it too drawn out? Was it too hallmarky? Have I passed my hallmark era? So I stopped it now, and I'm like, oh yeah, now let me try to watch it back. Oh god, wow, what a film!
Elizabeth, that's the
Oh my
best. That's
god,
the best on Prime.
I don't look
That's
when I
great.
tried to watch Japa, guys. I was not sure what I was hearing as per the dialogue. It was like simulation, it was like somebody typed on AI, write dialogue for a film about Japa. Well, like they said Japa like 10 times within the first 3 scenes. I'm like, yeah, that's my cue. I'm
Oh,
out.
that's when I
Oh,
closed
we're
it.
in the Japa
So,
area now. Okay, we've entered Japa. All right,
Then I
that's
tried to watch Green Fever. And then when I got to that scene that said, it's a green fever, it's worse than cancer. I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm out. Peace out. And that was it for me. I've been avoiding Prime since then. I'm like, no, 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 no. Thank you. Let me go and face my life and reality. Okay, but currently I'm just watching. What am I watching? Everything It Takes, Super Story. It's on YouTube. Thank you.
all right. Thanks. Oh no. Okay, so we haven't actually spoken about Japa, which oh god.
we have to. Must
Yes,
we?
yeah. All right. I actually did put my tweet out there about what I think about it in terms of I do think it's one of the most incompetently put film I've seen in a long time. And I include YouTube movies as well because I didn't realize this, but YouTube movies know that there are YouTube movies and they do like they do basic YouTube shots that fit the mold, right? They don't try anything special. There's nothing, but like this didn't even know, it didn't even have the respect of knowing what it was. And that was a big problem. Anyway, I actually don't want to spend too much time on it, to be honest. But anybody else have anything else to say about Japa? Feel free. Or
Yes.
That's my
I have something to say. That's unfair. I think I think the conclusion on Japa is a little unfair, but it particularly what you said about it not knowing what it was. I feel like just because it's on Prime doesn't mean that it's I don't know. It's like I feel like because it's on a streamer as opposed to like on YouTube, then maybe we're thinking it's supposed to be this premium film or like this prestige material, and I don't think it was ever trying to be that necessarily. Um, I watched it. Um, I agree that it has issues. I don't think it has more issues than most of the stuff out there. Um, but it was actually kind of fun to watch. Like the story was kind of simple enough to follow. The characters, I mean, the characters are the characters, you know. I don't think it moved mountains in terms of storytelling or anything particularly. Like, but I don't think it was necessarily trying to be ambitious. I think it was um, a story about. I mean, it brought in some. It was supposed to be like kind of an adventure thing, like dude with a problem trying to solve it, essentially. A mixture of like Groundhog Day and all these kinds of, I mean, a bit of Jumanji in there or whatever. It's one of those like old like 90s adventure films where, you wake up, you have an issue, you don't really know how to solve it, and then you go about it the wrong way until you kind of find out exactly what is at the root of your problem and fix it. So I'm actually willing to hear. I say all this, and that's just my opinion in terms of that being unfair, but I also want to hear like why you have this very strong stance on this particular film.
Okay. No, that's fine.
because it's
That's fine.
bad.
I'm sorry, hold on, hold on. Before you, like, I think you're going to explain why you find Japan incompetent. I just want to say, as a Nigerian, I really cannot believe that the closing message of that was, we keep asking what Nigeria can do for us and not what we can do for Nigeria. And let's join hands and make this
And if
country
we work our way
after
back
our
from there,
lives a better place. I cannot believe
that's
that
why I've been
that was
laughing
when we
throughout. I'm
closed on.
sorry. I'm sorry,
yeah.
Damola, that I laughed throughout your whole speech, but like, no.
All right. Okay.
Guys, actually, I
So
didn't see
But I
anything
don't
because
get
I
like,
didn't finish it. But it was not
but okay,
exactly good. At
So
least
this movie
but
wants to be the FDR of Nigeria.
wants to be the what?
FDR of Nigeria, because that's the same from
yeah, yeah,
FDR.
the Arsenal what? Yeah. So so okay, why I thought this was but look, I don't even honestly after like about 12 to 15 minutes of this, I checked out of the story because it didn't feel like I was just bamboozled by how incompetent it was. When I say didn't know, it didn't know in respect to itself. Honestly, like what I was thinking about it was that if somebody had told me, if it felt like if somebody had told me, go do Amifi easy, and in my brain that does not respect that filmmaking would be had, I went out to make a film. This is like it feels like this is what I would have made, except I wouldn't have. I'm almost sure I probably have made different mistakes to be fair, but I wouldn't have made some of the things that have that was in my screen because like just generally the editing in the first few minutes I thought was so bad. The framing of people in shots the first few minutes, like when they're in the market, I can't remember where's the market area. There's a time where like Jidekene is like right at the edge of the right at the edge of the thing next to somebody else. They're just almost outside of the frame next to somebody else, and I'm like, why am I? It felt like they cropped in the picture. And then when I'm talking about editing, anybody who even if you don't know 180-degree rule, right? That marketing again. It's just they're taking shots from You're having a 360-degree view from wherever, whenever. That's what I mean by a YouTube movie wouldn't do that, because a YouTube movie just they almost have like a stage. This is a stage that we are shooting, and we're just going to shoot everything like in like almost one take, like it's a stage and short reverse shot kind of thing. A YouTube movie knows and respects that. Like, but like, it's somebody who doesn't know doesn't know stuff about filmmaking, when to make a film. It feels like this is the film they would have made. And again, this is before I get into the story, because again, I checked out. I was just talking in terms of the filmmaking. It was just all over the place, and it communicated to me that it was not going to be great. I
And you were right, because this movie
Was
does
it great?
exposition, lots of telling, and it's a short time. It's a short movie, and the supposed to be, I guess, showing us sort of the conflict in their marriage, from the decision to travel, whatever. Except that they set up the conflict, but it doesn't make sense, and it's never resolved. How does this affect their marriage? They're arguing. Are they staying together? Are they getting divorced? Is he going to London or wherever else it was going to? I can't remember. Is she coming? Like, what did we decide at the end of this movie? I
Wait,
don't know, other
wait,
than
hold up. I'm so sorry.
them.
Who's getting divorced in Jackpot?
No, that's the problem though, right? They're arguing about him traveling and she doesn't want to move, he wants to move. But that's never resolved. The
I feel like I
conflict that
watched a
led up
different
to their
movie.
marriage.
Did I
Sorry?
watch Sorry, are we talking about a different movie? Because I feel like I watched a different movie. Sorry, so sorry.
which
Oh, I'm talking about Japa Till
Yeah,
actually.
if you
That
want
I
Japanese, yeah, not the
because
not
I also like that movie.
Okay,
Oh
whew,
yeah, it's a that one is a Jaqua tale, quite different from Jaqua. All I know is
yeah.
that the first three scenes I watched, or four scenes, it was so bad. Oh my god! Like apart from the dialogue that sounded too unreal, super stilted. It's the fact that the editing, oh my, especially when they were doing that flashback scene for each of them, their reasons. The editing was so bad there that even the intended comedy fell flat because I see the vision they were going for. The editor just probably did not collect his complete money, so he just did what he had to do right there. And while watching it, I was just asking myself that is this really going to be my life? Like I really like Nollywood, right? But I also have, also have school and work and stuff. I'm like, is this really? And I have learned because, learned is time to reflect and be nice. And I was trying to be nice. I'm like, if I finish it, I will not be nice, right? I would have, God, maybe Jesus would be like, you, I'm not dying for your sins and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I have to just stop right there. I don't know what's happening with the like Lai Wasabi is so good in his own skits that here it looks like he's always taking a pause before he speaks. And I'm wondering, Director Sama, what is happening? What's going on with this guy? Because with his own film, with his own skits, you see that this is the way he emotes and this is the way he speaks. He has mastered it. And it's like they're trying to transpose that person in Lai Wasabi skits into this film, and there's no synergy, right? And so it's not working. Even editing, like the editing there was so bad, and I asked myself, if I put money inside this kind of film, like I will soak it inside water and put sugar and milk and drink it like Gary. That's just my opinion.
Also,
This is one with
I,
want to
Adesua,
I
ask
right?
agree
if
on the
people. I
editing,
want to
Sha.
ask if people
Like,
know what words mean,
Is this
because
one with Adesua? Just so with the time loop.
I
Yes.
see.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask, do people know what words mean? Because they purported this film to be sci-fi, and I just want to ask if people know what words mean.
Yeah, that's another thing because sci-fi is different from fantasy. And I think that a lot of filmmakers, this is no diss, is that I feel like one, you need to have like a wild library of reference. You have to have a little bit of film, not a little bit if you are going to into film. I shouldn't have more film knowledge than you. Maybe I should. But you are not, this is not, sci-fi is different from fantasy. If you're gonna do a film loop a la Groundhog Day, that's fantasy. It's also sci-fi. It's not scientific.
No, I mean, I think a time loop movie is inherently science fiction, but
exactly.
the problem that they had here is that they couldn't really commit to doing science fiction because so many Nollywood filmmakers have this sort of weird paranoia that they're going to be accused of trying to be too Hollywood. So they always try to find a way to Nigerianize it by
Yeah, but
forcing in some
even
kind of
Groundhog,
Nigerian reference. So therefore, making it have to be about some god, which was also funny every
but
time that
Groundhog
the other,
Day is
Adeso,
I
every
think
time
I think
Adeso
fantasy.
would be like Omenala. It would just I
Then
so I
was
that's
think
laughing.
Juju Pie.
yeah,
Because
well, here
if
you
you say
go.
I'm doing Groundhog Day,
Mhm.
Groundhog is fantasy. Like time loop, if the time loop have something to do, like maybe something Nolan would do. Sorry, my
Yeah,
darling. Like maybe Nolan would do, that would be sci-fi. If the time loop is dependent on some science, like Back to the
exactly.
Future,
That's
that
right.
is
That's
So
right.
so
sci-fi.
here's the
Yeah,
thing. Here's the
it's like
thing. Just
exaggerating the science.
I
Yeah.
agree, but they're widening the scope of science because there is a school of thought that, well, magic is just a form of advanced science, right?
Damola,
It's
please.
wait
I agree with you.
now,
You know,
No,
wait
Damola, I agree with
now.
you. Okay.
Like it is, and that I think that is kind of. I'm not necessarily. I'm not even necessarily arguing for them. I'm just giving you the other side of the coin so that it's like I understand, because the thing is, I say a lot like I understand why people do certain things. I don't necessarily agree with them, but I understand why they do it. So I think that they're widening the scope of, because even Jujufy, let's be honest, really, we're taking it's a little bit of a hack job, right? Like Juju is Juju. It's supposed to be magic. It's supernatural, right? Whereas science is supposed to be science. There's an explanation for it typically. So slapping Juju and Phi together into like it's just explaining what a force field is by
it's
saying
just
that he has
thematic.
Odeshi,
It's
right?
just
Do you get what I
theme.
mean?
It's just
So,
thematic, Demola.
eh, so,
Yeah,
It's
so
a
I
like
it's
now,
think
just thematic.
I think it makes sense though. Like so, like again, science fiction is just science, but exaggerating the science for fiction's sake. That's what I think of it as. And I mean, like I don't have a problem with Juju 5 because like I think it essentially it's probably trying to do something in the same. But that's not the reason why Japan is a bad movie.
no,
And
I get that
Wait,
and
as well.
also, it's weird hearing Japan trying to expand the genre. I'm sorry.
Hey
I'm
God,
talking about Japan,
I didn't
right?
say expand genre. Oh. I didn't say the film is expanding the genre. I said that the reason why they may have called it a sci-fi is because they're trying to expand the scope of the genre in this, and a lot of
Who
filmmakers
is
have
the
done
day, Damola? Tani day, if it's
filmmakers,
not the Japa.
filmmakers, African, Nigerian, whatever you want to call it. My point is that saying Juju Fi, for example, is tacking on Juju onto the sci-fi genre and saying that as opposed to it being science, which is the Western way of doing things, our way of doing things is Juju. The
No, it
things that
just
we can't
becomes juju fiction, no, not juju sci-fi. It's juju fiction, not juju
every
fi.
time you hear every time most of the time when you hear Juju Fi or you see it depicted, it's the things that are being depicted are really just, again, and this is the whole Hollywoodizing thing, right? Like for example in Sugar Rush, when Banky gets shot at and there's a force field around him, the whole Odeshi thing or whatever. The whole idea is you're depicting a force field, but instead of depicting a scientific force field with a gadget or something, or some kind of meta-human power, you're depicting it as juju, therefore
Yeah,
juju fi.
agreed.
That's what I'm saying. It's not juju fi is not juju fiction. Juju itself is fiction. Like how many, like if I'm doing a film about juju, it's not going to be a film based on, it's not
Well,
going to be a neo-realist
you
film.
know, Nigeria gonna have Nigerians will fight you on that, right? Like some
I
Nigerians
mean,
will
Juju is
fight
not
you on that.
I
fiction.
mean,
No.
hey, that's not what
I
I
just
am
want to
about to
say,
say.
Star Trek is considered like the sci-fi. Like if it's more sci-fi than Star Wars, right? Star Wars is more considered like like fantasy sci-fi. But even in Star Trek, they had gods, but they made them aliens. But they are literally gods. They are taken out of like
E-
gods.
even like
So
you think
it
about the Marvel,
happens.
the MCU, and you think about Thor. Is
We're
Thor
going too
sci-fi
far.
or is it fantasy? Right? You're talking about gods, but it's also science, right? So it is sci-fi, but it's also fantasy. So I
I
think
just
it's
want to
just
say
a
that Groundhog Day is fantasy. Like there is no explanation for the reason what he was going through. It was just fantasy. There was no science, anything involved. It wasn't like some magic. It was basically magic. And anytime Hollywood wants to do something tender that like tilts towards magic, right? They just go with fantasy, right? Because they know that it cannot be transposed into the real world. And even I'm sure that if I try to check Groundhog Day, even though the original of Groundhog Day, the original writer wrote the short story, in a science fiction fantasy. So it's like two things, but you can put it in a box and let it fit, right? Without expanding the scope. And if you feel you have to expand the scope of science, if juju cannot be explained logically through science, so it cannot be sci-fi. That's just that's just what we are
Okay,
saying right.
what about Star Wars? Star
Oh,
Wars,
okay.
Star
All
Wars
right.
is
Damola, we're
sci-fi or
going
science
too
What?
far
fiction.
for a
Yeah,
film that
we're
is bad.
moving away from.
Can I give my can I give my thoughts on Jackpot, the actual
Yeah,
movie,
please
not
go
the
on.
genre?
Yeah, go on, Newton.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to disagree with Damola again on the idea that the movie's not ambitious, because I think that when you're talking about a time loop movie, that concept is inherently ambitious for Nollywood. I think it's actually, I think any movie that has to do with time travel tends to be fairly ambitious wherever you are, but especially in Nollywood, it's definitely ambitious. My problem with the movie was that it felt extremely, and this is where I agree with Mr. C, that I feel that the filmmakers unfortunately really didn't know what they were doing, is that they were so enamored with the plot that they forgot everything else. It feels very diagrammatic, especially towards the end when they're jumping through time over and over and over again with um these montages and voiceovers and music playing over. There was never really a time when they would give you a moment to really experience these alternate realities. And I mean, I think that's one of the things that is appealing about an alternate reality movie, the idea that you give the viewer a chance to inhabit that alternate reality, even if for a few moments. But they were just jumping through them. At some point I felt that watching this movie, that if you read a Wikipedia article describing the movie, you would have the exact same experience as watching it. Really, in fact, the Wikipedia article may even be a more enriching experience because it might be clearer to understand. But it's as if there was not an immersive experience. After a while, it was like this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, and it's just like I always call it the yada 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 kind of movie where they don't really care what's happening, but they're just trying to tell you this is what's happening. This is happening. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. Yada 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 yada, and it goes on and on and on. So I just felt that I don't want to say that they didn't care about it, but it didn't feel like they cared. I mean, I'm sure a lot of hard work was put into it, a lot of effort, and obviously they cared about it. But I don't think they were able to communicate that through the actual storytelling. It just, it I don't know. I mean, there were some times that I felt that it had something. The beginning parts of it, the comedy didn't appeal to me. But when we got to the part where Jide Kene, or rather, when Adeswa confronts Jide Kene at the airport, I felt that was a real soulful moment, and that sort of grabbed my attention. I was like, okay, wait, this movie might have something. It might have some heart or something like that. And then immediately after that, we have the first time loop episode. I was like, okay, wait, this movie has turned out to be something that I didn't expect it to be. At this point, I was thinking this might be something interesting, but then it just went in a direction that I wasn't sure. The point at which Adeswa first says to Jide Kene, "Are you stuck in a time loop?" I think that's when I lost it, and after that, there was just no coming back from that.
All right.
Again,
Okay.
general consensus is the film is bad. Can we move on?
So my issue, and why I think Japatel came to mind is because I also thought this movie ended badly, without really resolving sort of the question it's asking. And I think Uchenna says the best, where is that they had an idea and basically just made everything else fit that idea to get there, because I don't know what exactly the story is telling us. And it just seems like they were writing an anti-Japa script, which is essentially what it is, without really addressing any of the reasons that he wants to leave in the first place. Um, and it just felt like they just added an extra layer of suffering that he's already suffering in the country he's trying to leave, and basically are forcing him to stay. Like they just locked him in Nigeria, basically. That's just what the movie felt like an imprisonment, both for me and for him.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Is there anything else anybody either wants to say about Japa or wants anything else anybody watched on Prime?
Yeah. It seems that when you guys were stuck in Prime, I went to YouTube.
Did you see? these people that don't used to pay attention in class. I said on Prime. We will get to outside Prime next.
I
Excuse
was
me,
watching.
I was already on
We
YouTube. I wasn't. It's not that I didn't read it. It's that I didn't follow.
have we
I was
already
already
talked
on
about the
YouTube. I was
Blooms
already on
engine?
YouTube, and then you brought out a tweet, and I was like, okay, I will just
we'll,
continue watch what I was watching again.
we'll come to outside Prime in a bit. Hang on.
Okay.
Did we already talk about a Blooms engine?
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay, never mind then.
Did you
Yeah,
like
basically, you guys are basically not making me watch all these movies. Thank you.
And Blooms in June is the closest thing I would recommend from Prime in recent releases. But yeah, Nollywood Must Change is
Oh, I want to say something about. I want to say a few things about Japan. Or are we? Have we moved past that?
okay. You can say, and then we'll move on.
When I was watching this movie, I just felt like they didn't direct any of the actors. Actually, they just came on set. Okay, just read the script, do what you want to do, and go back home. Because I didn't feel any. How will I say this? Any chemistry between Adesua and our main character actually, because I don't know, maybe Adesua is becoming a bad actor. Well, I didn't. Maybe she was a bad actor and I didn't notice because it just felt like she did not. She was just there doing her thing, and let's just do this and let's go back to our house. There was no chemistry. You call them lovers. Even they one betrayed the other. Maybe that's why they don't have any chemistry actually. But there was nothing. And you want us to root for these two characters. It doesn't make any sense, actually. And this writing, oh my God. I didn't even care about any of the characters. I just don't like this guy. What are you calling him? This comedian, Lai. He was worse than his skit. I was like, is this person acting or what? It was just God. That movie is very bad. I'm sorry. Someone. I think I saw someone calling this movie, this guy's movie, the worst movie, the movie on Showmax. I'm sorry, Japa is the worst movie for this year so far that I've seen. That movie is very bad. Like they didn't do anything. They didn't put effort into it. It's like let's make a movie. They was just there to do what they wanted to do, and everybody called it a day. I'm sorry, that movie is bad.
Yeah. All right. No, I just remembered. I just remembered that. Today, I actually don't mind morally gray characters.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sibu, sorry. I'm sorry to cut you. Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you.
Are you sorry then? Are you sorry?
People arguing about fantasy and sci-fi. I kind of feel like Japa is not a fantasy. Please don't call it a fantasy because that character, the whole thing happening was to punish him, not like he wanted to do something that is sick, that kind of thing. But they were using it to punish him. I understood the movie actually, but that's not fantasy. Fantasy, your character will go on a journey because your character is trying to do something, then they encounter this whole kind of thing. So it's not a sci-fi, it's not a fantasy.
So it's just bad. Wow.
Okay.
Which is what I've been saying. Latter wrong.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say, like the Jidekina's character, I don't mind morally gray characters, but like somebody who steals money from charity, I mean, that's the guy.
And it's such a switch as well because everything before that he was great.
Yeah.
He was such a sweet guy. Someone who helped and left behind students. How do you suddenly start stealing from charity?
He's stealing money from charity from the person that stole from him. Because I feel like that's how he rationalized it in his head. That the person who is causing all of his problems is kind of
No,
like
but
one
he
of the
didn't know that.
biggest
He didn't know that. He didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about
It
it is
wasn't
that
stealing from the person who stole from him. It was stealing from the children.
Yeah.
And then he was just desperate,
I think that stuff really
which is at least sympathetic. Like
it led to a really inconsistent tone, and also the part where all of a sudden we learned that Adeswa was forced to sleep with a man for money.
Yeah.
I mean, it got the tone really.
Oh God, melodramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great, and obviously whoever decided whoever decided to put Jidekina and this one together. Oh my. Anyway, all right. That's it. That's the last one from me. All right. Anything else? Anybody else watched on Prime?
I want to hear about It Blooms in June. What do people think?
We've suffered enough for Prime. The general
Can we move
consensus
on
for
to
It
I
more?
Blooms
did
in
not finish
June.
it. That's my own. Damola, I watched it.
Elizabeth didn't finish it,
I
but
didn't finish
everybody
anything.
generally thinks that it's one of the better
Yeah,
releases
I
of
don't
all
think
the
I'm gonna finish
releases
it
on Prime.
either. I just think it's missing. Like I feel like I don't know how to put into words what is missing, but I honestly feel like it 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 has the right idea, but it's missing a core ingredient in the coming of age genre. And I think this is, please, I hope I'm not getting my genres mixed up again, no, but this is coming of age, right? We can agree on that.
Yeah, it is. It
Um,
is kind
but
of yeah.
I don't feel like anybody in it is really, or maybe there are too many people coming of age in the film. So it's like, who is the actual character that is going through it in this thing? I watched this. I wasn't sure, so I went and watched this YouTube video that kind of explained that maybe instead of calling it coming of age, we should call it oh God, is a rite of passage, right? Which is like you're going through a particular stage in your life, whether that's separation or adolescence or or whatever, or grief or whatever. My problem was that when I was watching it, I was like, okay, so the girl is, I guess, going through puberty, and her father is going through, and they're both going through grief, and the father is going through separation, but also reconciliation of some sort. I don't know, but it just felt a bit scattered. Like, who am I following here? And even if I'm following all of them, I feel like there should be some kind of connection. But the girl is off doing her own thing. The father is off doing his own thing. And then, yeah, just by virtue of the relationship between their two potential love interests, it seems like there will be some kind of convergence. But that isn't even really a conflict on, and I think I'm 40 minutes in, and so far neither of them knows. I guess they know, but it's not really an issue for them. Like the father isn't even interested in the lady, but the girl is kind of interested in the boy, and it's just like, yeah, where is this going? It's kind of how I feel watching it, but I don't know what anyone else thinks about that. But yeah, people said they've suffered enough. Maybe we can move on from Prime, or someone can tell me what they think. I'm just interested.
Yeah, just a quick summary of what I felt Blooms Engine was. My biggest issue with it was that it did feel like a YouTube movie. But it does know what it does. It kind of knows what it is for the most part in terms of the way it's shot. It does feel a little empty. Just a little not. There isn't as much life into it in both again, that's kind of that's how I picture YouTube movies. Like, all right, so we have a story, we just want to tell it, go from point A to point B, and yeah, that's fine. It's just I did like the young love. Some of the lines aren't particularly great, don't get me wrong. And I liked the story. It was telling quite a simple story, and I don't think it messed it up. I thought it executed it okay, but yes, I wouldn't be surprised if people don't love it either, because again, not a lot is going on there, to be honest. But yeah, all right. What else have people watched on Prime?
Someone said you
Does it
people
have to
want
be
to talk
Oh,
about
it has to
life.
be Nollywood, obviously.
Please,
Someone said you people want to talk about life.
can I just
Someone's hand is up,
say,
and
Not.
they've been up for a bit.
It's
Spent
yeah.
about an hour on Prime.
It's still Nollywood. Yeah, it's still Nollywood at this point.
can I talk
But
something?
we'll get to not Nollywood in a bit. All right. Okay. So everybody has finished. Look, I'm not doing the hand thing.
Ellie,
Just communication.
Okay,
Ellie's
I
hand
wanted
is
to
Oh,
ask you
up.
people to watch Different Strokes. That was on Prime.
We talked about different strokes
Okay,
already.
cool. What was the consensus? Because I missed it. Like just one line.
It was
Tufiakwa was the
bad.
consensus.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I think
so bad. It was so I don't know.
I
Ha!
think Vanessa said everybody there deserve different strokes of kin.
I was going to flog
That's
you with different strokes. You say it's not that bad.
I feel like it's
It wasn't.
so
oh
far
god.
past.
All right. All right. Okay. Okay. So nobody else, nothing else. I think we've covered
No,
all of
didn't you
all of
just say
Prime.
it live now?
Didn't
I
you
just
watch
heard live.
live? You watched live now.
Told
Me,
me.
I didn't follow you people to watch live because after that thing that they call a come online. What's the name of that film again?
Hey,
Yeah, that
you.
film,
Hey, you.
that one, what's it
After that
called?
film, and
Hey,
I saw
Hey,
that
you.
the
you.
same person
Is
that
that
made that
it?
film made this live. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not going to do that to myself. Congratulations to all involved.
See,
All right.
I think I don't I think I may give it a try. Like I want to watch it maybe like after maybe in December when I'm not so this thing about it because I'm rooting for the person that makes it that made it rather right. I can't remember her name, and I'm rooting for her because when she made Hey You, I felt like one of those there is something there but it's just bad. So personally I feel like if how if you're apprenticing doing apprenticeship under somebody, you sort of like learn their ways of doing things, and then when you now try to transpose, so if you learn under somebody who you think that generally their scope is bad, you two will be doing like that. I feel like there is a deep, I think there's a lack of knowledge of either script writing because I don't know if it's the filmmaking generally. I think the problem I had with AU actually was the script was just the story, the plot was bad, right? Like the conflict that would invent two conflict. The first one showed up 1 hour, one hour on the dot like this. A fiance that we didn't hear beep about, did not see a picture, did not even know existed, just appeared from the thin air. I felt like after that AU, like yeah, there must maybe she would take feedback and maybe something would better. But I'm not hearing good things about this life, but I want to watch it too because apparently lives were swapped. We have another fantasy on our hand or sci-fi, whatever you call it, right? So maybe this sci-fi, it's not like I don't believe Mr. CEO or Vanessa. I don't think Vanessa watched it, but I want to watch it for myself. I want to see the growth in quotes. If after
There is
AU,
no growth, Sha.
as bad as AU, then
Life has fantasy book. The fantasy did not fantasize at
I'm telling you
all.
now, Hey is
There's
better
no growth
than
at
Life.
all. Don't like
Hey,
it's
Hey
not.
Ah,
is a better
ah,
film than Life. Hey is a better film
Today,
than Life.
Life is bad in
ah.
every language.
wow.
Okay.
Wait, so, Elizabeth, you were talking about the conflict starting. It's a second conflict starting like
1 hour mark now in
and
AU.
the only conflict in this movie starts like 40 minutes into the movie. Like up to then, you're just watching. The funny thing is that you're
on.
just we all know what this
Big
movie is
movie.
supposed to be. If you look at the poster, you even can get the Gerard stuff. It's supposed to be like a body swap thing, right? We're just watching. I for 40 minutes, like waiting for this body swap to happen. And before it happens, and then if you watch it, come and tell me that you will appreciate Hey You. You will appreciate Hey You. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
wow. I,
Oh
I,
my
I
god.
hate regression.
So
Are you
I
saying that
was
you
right.
That's
I
regress?
was right in my choice to not watch the film. Is what you're saying.
Yes, it's horrendous. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
100%. No. It's down there with some of the worst ones.
If you
Um,
if you write script on this, if you're on this call, this is what's that thing called? PSA. If you write scripts or you do story development, I'm not an expert, right? But I understand story structure. I will do it pro bono. I will not collect one kobo. We'll just find time between my free time, which is never, but we'll look for the free time. I'll do it for you for free. I will not collect one kobo. Don't even put my name on anything because I'm tired. I like Nollywood, but nobody is making this thing easy. Why am I watching everything it takes super story from 100 years ago?
oh no, that's the life we've been living. Else we've been going back in time for Nollywood movies. Anyway, all right, okay. So outside of Prime, is there any good stuff people have been watching? Well, anything. All right,
Yes.
Right.
okay. Let's kick
So
us off.
so there's this film that they just released. When was this? Friday. It's called a The Other Side of Love, Abby.
I watched it. I
Is
liked
it
Let
it.
me just
the wrong
again. I
is it
quite
Wrong Side of
enjoyed
Love?
it. It was
Wrong
a
side.
romance,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's from
I want
Abuja
to
people.
beg Nollywood and all the people involved. Romance is supposed to have, and I'm begging happily ever after because You people will not be making me to be off in my screen 5 minutes
but
to
his
the end
character
of a
development, the guy
film.
killed somebody, he had to die.
I'm so no,
Sadly.
you don't have to die. If we're going through, I read. See, I'm not a snob. I want to clarify to people. I'm not a snob when it comes to my romances, right? I read everything.
Me too.
And I specifically quite enjoy African American urban romances with morally grey characters. Because if these Oibo people can read mafia romance and fall in love with a mafia man that is killing people up and down, me too, I can read morally grey black men. I don't mind a morally grey hero in a romance.
Not morally
Sue
grey,
me.
he's morally bad. He killed
Sue me.
people.
I don't care. Bad and grey. Two side of the same
Sorry,
coin.
is it the
Johnny.
other side of love or the wrong side of love? Which
Wrong
one
I,
are they?
side,
I
girl.
think
I
it's
mean,
wrong
come back,
side. I
but
think
side,
it's wrong
side,
side.
yeah. Side is in the film, and I don't care. I don't mind that he killed people. I don't care that he was taxing the poor. I mean, we literally had to take and steal from children in a charity. So what are we not saying? we, can, we can accept a man. This man loved her. Sue me. This man had puppy dog eyes for her. This man sat in her restaurant and was just looking her in the eye. Sorry, this was love. I've been begging Nollywood for romances. If people don't, I'm sounding passionate because I've been begging on my knees. My knees have become ashy. I've gotten scars from being on my knees and begging Nollywood for romances where I can actually feel people fall in love. And these people fell in love, only for them to go and kill him at the end for what? Because that last scene was rushed. The writing in that scene did not even make sense because it was not in keeping with the rest of the love that they have set up.
I'm so sorry. Is this a Nigerian movie or not? Is it on
Yes,
It's
it
YouTube?
is
Oh,
YouTube.
it
Yeah,
is
on
yeah,
on
yeah. It's
YouTube.
on,
YouTube.
it's on
It
YouTube,
is
yeah.
on YouTube, but you
Okay,
can't, and it was
thank
beautiful.
you.
Love was
It
I'll
is
lovely.
write
in,
it.
it is in line with YouTube films, but just slightly better. But it's in line, you know. That's what
It
they do on
works.
YouTube.
I'm
They
sorry,
rush it.
it works.
So
It
this is
is.
like
We've
the
shared a link to it on the space, by the way.
okay. So this is
Let's
kind of
send.
like the rogue guy you should not love, but you love and you're attracted to anyway, and it ends
Exactly.
kind of tragically.
Yes, because
Okay, you
Nollywood don't
got
want me
me.
to be happy.
You got me. I actually don't like my romances to be happy. I don't know why.
Because you people are sad. I need you people to love and be happy. I want to be happy. I don't know why you people do this to me because that's how they did that thing with that film with Latif Adedimeji and that girl. That's how they went to go and kill him for no reason. I be kill her for no
Now,
reason.
for
You
all
people
intents and
should love,
purposes,
love,
that
love.
film had a happy ending. The
What film is
filmmakers,
that?
Yes,
that their
yes. You know
business,
what?
that
Yes,
last
that
few
movie
minutes of their
does have an
business.
happy ending.
Oh yeah, for me, I stopped where they met. You know, they were together. Oh, that was
See,
the
this
end of
is
Yeah,
the
my
that's
problem.
where
movie.
it
I can't be.
ended.
Do you know something with Nollywood is that they like doing movies that people will keep talking about it. That was why they killed their character actually.
They are very
So
stupid for
You know?
that
lazy.
because I would have
Such
kept talking about it if
laziness.
they ended up together.
No, happy ending. You won't talk about it actually.
Stella, I would have been talking and
Yeah,
I'll be
for me,
watching it.
that film
I would
ended where they
recommend
met
it
I
more.
still talk
together. So
about
that's
Ovi's
happy for me.
voice, okay?
I'll be watching it every day because I'll be responsible for hundreds of thousands of views if that thing ended well.
I've watched Pretty Woman like
Their
a
movies,
gazillion
like that
times.
I know.
Okay.
movie, is so hard to go back to now because what is the point of following all of this and
Exactly.
falling in
Thank
love with
you.
them if she died? Like, so it's hard to go back and rewatch it. But
Thank you.
if you're
You know
going to
what?
tell me a love story
Can
and
we
you want
bully
me to be
them?
engaged with it, then let the love flourish so that
Can
Thank
we bully
you.
them
next
to
time I'm
release the
having a
NFT
bad
cut?
day, I want to rewatch it. I want to recommend it. But other than that, it's just pain for no reason.
Thank you.
It's all
I don't
right.
know.
We'll tell them to cut
I
out the
like
end.
a bit of sadness, a little bit of sadness with the love, just a
Well,
sprinkle.
No,
Damola,
thank
I would not
not
have
you.
Just a
life.
expected something else.
No,
But like, it's like
thank
something
you.
different. I would like, oh wow, Damola, that's strange.
Exactly. Like I don't know why I'm so you think we'll be surprised.
What a rude. Please. All right. Any other movies we've been watching outside of well, any other Nollywood anyone has seen?
I I
Go
went
I,
on.
back
I know,
to
I know, I
watching.
know, I know. I'm very late to the game, but because we've all kind of been talking about stuff that it seems like we all kind of hate, um, the meeting is the truth. I have to say, it is the absolute God honest truth. It's ah man, I was just like I actually when I finished watching it, I tweeted that gif from like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where Peter Quill just can see the whole universe. Because that's how I felt after watching it. Like, I felt like my eyes had been opened, and I was like, I can finally see. Like, man, where to start with this film? From and I mean, like, that's actually a film where the love is loving, right? And at the end, the love is allowed to flourish. I mean, but just from short choices to dialogue to performances, like, I mean, it's dated, but at the same time, still so good. Like, and then Rita Dominic as the secretary is just phenomenal. Like, every inch an Igbo woman, every inch in it, like, just she just gives herself to it completely. It's just, and then I don't know why, but I just like to imagine that what's her name? Oh God, I've forgotten the actress's name. Um, Ibrahim Suleiman's wife, whose name I've forgotten. Um, but
Linda.
Linda, that's right. But she's just like, I don't know why, but I want to imagine that that's exactly what she's like in real life. Just playful and thoughtful and just like she's just, I mean, she's just great in that. So yeah, sorry, gushing a lot, but I mean, I'd heard a lot about, oh, watch the meeting, watch the meeting, watch the meeting. And when it finally came up, I was like, okay, finally, let's watch this thing and see what all the hubbub is about. But the hubbub is worth it. Like, amazing.
We did gush over it too. It's and it also holds up like time apart from like maybe the resolution and then the frame on YouTube, like the story and everything. And that personally for me, that character, that Linda's character, is I think a lot of people echoed it on when we had the call or that space rather about how sometimes Nancy's characterization in some movies are supposed to maybe tend towards that. She was I won't use the word whimsical. She was supposed to play a character opposite to Mackinday's character, right? Like somebody like she was such a maybe and not exactly in an annoying way, but somebody who just wants to be there. She's happy go lucky. She has this wild ideas about life. She's opinionated, even though she doesn't sound like a child. Let me use that word. You can say that there's a difference between their age and stuff, like especially when they speak. And he finds this fascinating, not annoying. And I think the consensus was that we're happy that the age gap did not so much seem like it, and that's the beauty of writing. I think that personally, I think this is one of Tuni Babalala's best work that he had written. The romance worked, especially for the age gap, and it wasn't cringe in that manner. It wasn't exactly lost in translation, but because actual romance had actually happened. But we can see them fall in love over like their differences, like age, and he knows so much about life and stuff like that. And I think, well, like you mentioned, the meeting is the meeting. After that, well, we've had this everything else. That is not the meeting. It should be the meeting and others.
Just to add, like, I think, okay, and here's just an opinion in terms of rom-coms. I think sometimes where it doesn't work is because people think if you put a man and a woman together and slap them together and write a story, like, they should fall in love. But like you said, it's their differences that kind of bring them together and the inadequacies, because it's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? Like, one person has to be kind of serious, but there has to be more substance to it. I'm dumbing it down and simplifying it, but it's like, one person has to be coming from one place and lacking something. The other person has to also be lacking something and everything. So his worldly experience or maturity or whatever, plus her whimsical, playful nature and everything. And that, I think that's why it works. It's just they're two people just coming from two ends of the of one idea, and then they just kind of collide, and it's beautiful to watch.
Okay, all right. No, we did discuss the meeting, so yeah, not too much to add on that aspect. Inka, did you want to?
Mm-hmm. See, I went on YouTube and then I started watching old movies. So
Me
I
and
have two
you got me
recommendations.
and you.
I have two recommendations. I don't know if everybody has seen it or they have not. First, let's move on from romance. There is romance in this, but it's not the focus. Shaorije is a very, I like, it was amazing. It actually, like, do you know what it means for like story? to move from plot to plot in sequential manner, and random things, even if random things were happening, it makes sense. And I'm just saying, plot wise, it went well. And also, like, it was a well directed movie. I'm just gonna put that there. I watched another movie, but look, I don't mind watching like bad production as much if the story is good. And I'm not going to say this. The next one I'm going to say is not necessarily bad production. Is that the copy that is on YouTube has like a frame over it, and it's not the best copy that is on YouTube. But then again, maybe this person stole it, so I cannot complain. Beggars cannot be choosers. It's called Bashoruga, and that is actually also good. Like, there are old movies. They didn't have all the fancy things that we have now. They didn't have all of that, and yet the direction good, movies story good. There is subtitles. I also watched the Letters to a Stranger again. So sorry, excuse me. If you don't mind going on YouTube and clicking every 10 minutes for Letters to a Stranger, every 10 minutes for the clips to continue, you can watch
Thank
Letters
you,
to a Stranger.
Iko.
Such a beautiful
We
movie.
must discuss letters to strangers on this call.
If
If we
you
are
mentioned that to a stranger, I would have thought like someone had body swapped you or something.
Right.
But even
Okay.
for Bollywood too, I went back to watching Jab We Met. I don't know why I was going back to watching things.
Hey, no. Well, okay. Actually, we'll get to actual non-Nollywood in a bit if we have time. Eddie, did you have a Nollywood film you've seen recently this week? Your hand is up. Eddie?
Oh, it's L. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I have a
Um,
question. Are
yeah.
we? Because I know when we link up, we don't really talk about films and sometimes series. Are we talking about series at all, or
So right in there. I think.
Today is it's what have you been watching?
Yeah. So it's whatever
yeah.
you've been watching.
Okay, because I mean, I know we talked about Annie Kulapo a few weeks ago, but this week I caught this YouTube show Dear Diane, which I think is actually really good. It's very young. The cast are young, but it's really good. It's on Diane Russet TV, and yeah, I just wondered if anyone in the community, the Nollywood Film Club community, had caught it.
Which one did you say it was?
It was Dear Diane.
Oh yeah, I've watched that.
Yeah, like I think that's really good. I think the topic is different. Like, someone that's terminally, well, actually, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it's
I think the idea is
yeah.
interesting, but I think the execution is really dreary and
What makes
I
it
don't know.
dreary?
The
Because I feel
dialogue.
like sometimes I mean, it's Iroko critic, right? We're highly critical in this community.
Yeah, I'll say
Okay.
one thing. Maybe I'm not. I'm certain that I'm not the right demographic for it. Maybe I'm not even the right generation.
Yeah,
A
it's
lot of it.
young.
I mean, it feels very self pitying in a way that I just can't engage with, and a lot of the dialogue is cringe to me.
I think I
But
think it's young, and that's why I put the caveat that it's young.
Uchenna, I agree with
yeah,
you,
yeah.
and I had to add some of the acting is no good.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think they're doing a really good job. I think especially
I
in the before we talk about the acting, just in the script itself, I think it's a very different perspective, and the actual premise of the show is somebody who isn't pitying themselves. They're actually they're not looking at their situation, and they're doing something every day to to live, and then they're finding love.
At the beginning, maybe, but later on, in later episodes, he is completely self pitying and he does some really self sabotaging stuff that seemed incredibly selfish and counterproductive in a lot of ways. The interesting thing about it is that there was a subplot in there that I thought was actually kind of interesting that was completely abandoned, which has to do with his friend
The
and his
mom, yeah,
mother.
I really
I
wish
don't
they
know.
would explore that more. That is like, yeah. Um, but where I've watched to now, there's another plot in, like, they've thrown another spanner in the works, and I just think it would be interesting to see more. And yes, the writing is, I guess, it's probably from a less experienced writer in terms of the script writing. And then the actors are young, so I guess I'm giving them benefit of the doubt. They're really good. I think it's a good show. I think everything's good about it. Like, so far, it's not the worst we've seen. You should like think about it. Think about what I'm saying. Like, I
I
think
think
it's
I
good.
understand Elle. I've not seen Dead Diane, but it reminds me of when I was trying to get everyone to watch what's the name of this YA on these girls from the Damina girls from
All the
Akure.
best friends in the
Best
world, Abby,
friends in
what's
the
it
Yes.
called?
world. Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when I was trying to
I
get
was gonna say,
people
if you
to there were so many things I was overlooking, right? I was overlooking the acting because I know they're young, they've never acted a day in their life. I know that they were not filmmakers. This one of them just completed film school. So I was really rooting for them. I've not gone back to watch a bunch now, but back then, even for like, yeah, the actor, I'm like, just follow, please. So I think I get what Elle is trying to say. There's this thing where you really just want to root for, like, you're seeing the vision and like, oh, they are young, and you want to root for the filmmakers and hope they get better and not end up like life.
Elizabeth, I think,
I would say if you like
okay,
Skinny Girl and Transit, you might like Dear Diane. I don't like either one of them, but I can see why people like them. And if you like Skinny Girl, I think Dear
Please
Diana has
Diane
don't
done
is
a
put
okay
Dead
for
series.
Eye
you.
next to Skinny Girl. Skinny Girl's pulling my hand right now. Beg, I beg, I beg, I beg.
Wait, Diana has done a series. Diana has done a web series before, and I think she could have, she should have gotten better. She has done a series before. What was the title of that one?
okay.
That they moved
That
to
went to
African
Africa.
Magic. What was the name of that one? And
Uh,
and and,
I was thinking she would have gotten better,
and they
but
moved it to
when I saw
African Magic
episode
and
one of
basically
this,
retconned the first season.
and I saw episode two, I knew I wasn't going to like this series, so I just stopped.
All right. Okay. Thanks
Talking about
for
young adults,
all of
you
that.
watch Boys.
I wanted to tell Lizzie,
Thank,
or sorry, Elizabeth, that BFW actually gets
sorry,
better.
Wayne. Sorry,
Okay.
I'll let you speak in a bit. Just wanted to correct something else. Mr. C and I, Roku Critic. Everybody else is Nollywood Film Club miscreants. These are
Oh,
the.
sorry, babes.
You,
I
I did
think
not take
That's
on the
all
tag of a
AKA
miscreant.
Echo
right.
Chamber, aka Echo Chamber
Sorry, guys.
Queen.
Echo Chamber
Yeah.
Queen. We are ECCK actually.
Known as many names.
All right. Cool. No worries. Wayne, please go on.
Oh, Elizabeth, I was saying BFW actually does the first season. The acting is horrendous. I was watching it because my sister and her young friends were watching it, and I couldn't bear it because they're like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and it was so cringe. The first two seasons,
Yeah,
well, like
but
the
it got
first
better
season,
in
but
the season
it gets
three.
better. It gets
Yes,
better.
they learned
I
on the
got hooked
job.
on this series. Like I was missing uni classes, like sorry, exams, and I was watching these kids act, and it gets better, a lot better. Just you can go back and see it. I fell in love with it. Yeah.
Yeah, as in, and that's why I said I was, really rooting, because first time I saw Best Friends in the World, it was just the first episode. They had not turned it into a series, and they had just had like 4,000 views there, and they were begging people to please watch. And by the time I came back, there were like 1 million views, and people were like, make this into a series. And I was really, really proud of them. And I didn't know it would happen. Like some 6 months later, they actually made it into. And yes, the acting was horrendous, but they did get better. And this is what I expect of Nigerian filmmakers, right? You really can't be making the same schoolboy mistake that you've made like when you started out, right? There is an assumption that should be a direction when there is a movement, but what we're seeing right now is that there is movement, there is no direction. It's almost static, but there is movement. They're just making like drooling, non-comprehensive, like nothing you can make sense of. This is what is happening. I didn't watch Anikulapo the series because I remember mentioning it to friends that if it's going to turn into a series, I will not be watching it, because I knew what I watched in the movie, and I was hoping to keep whatever that is, because I know that it will not be exactly good. Don't ask me why, but it's so sad because we talked about Phone Swap the other day, which was like the third installment in Kunle Afalayon's work. He had already done Irapada, which I think was experimental and great, because about that old juju fight thing, let me use that word, which he started out like metaphysical, then he had figuring, and then so to a large extent I think that it felt like people had boxed him into that, always trying to explore the metaphysical. Again, it was very experimental because people were not making that sort of film when he did, but you can see that, oh, there is a direction, not just movement. And then when he made Phone Swap, like he's like, oh, maybe he's trying his hands on something else different from what he was known for. But that Kunle Afolayan does not exist again, because it seems like this Kunle Afolayan is trying to run a race against time. It's almost that thing where you feel like, well, there's really nothing I have to prove again. Because for so long, Kunle Afolayan was trying to do so much. You can say that there's something he's trying to prove, maybe trying to get better, or maybe like international accolades. You had that October 1st and whatnot, and see, which I thought, oh, I can't remember if I watched it. But anyways, and then he started doing all of these new things that he's doing. Like, nigga, Citation, I thought was bad. I was willing to let it go. The other one he made, which I felt bad. It was supposed to be a slice of life movie, and it was not good. It was not well done. It was not supposed to have been done. The one with the singer Neola, is that her name?
Yeah.
And then this Anikulapo, to myself, when the series came out, my husband watched it and I was like, yo, not bad. Maybe you should try it. Like, I said, I'm not watching, say, because here are the things that I really shouldn't still be picking your films apart. You quit your banking job. You had a goal, you had a vision. Like, I really want to make film. I'm from Film Legacy. This is something I want to pass on. You see all the way he was experimenting. Like, this guy has something different. He has a voice. Right now, I don't know exactly what's happening. So that is how I felt with when those girls did New Girl in the World. I was really rooting for them. They were teenagers. I'm like, they can make it work. And by the time you stick to their story, and it's amazing how these young girls were writing better than Nollywood writers. Sorry to say, not.
You need to see the love triangle that they did towards the end. The love triangle got people on YouTube hooked.
I really should go back, because they were doing character development in the well-written character development, well-written like holding thematic plot for teenagers. I don't know if they were, of course, all teenagers forever, but you can see, and then the acting, you can see that these kids were working on their acting chops, directing chops, editing chops, and what have you. But then we have people who I call establishments acting like Nollywood is a cult. Don't talk to me too much. I'm just trying. I'm just a girl. I'm just a boy. What's that?
All right.
Then they will now so talking about internships and apprenticeship.
How did we even reach here?
I'm sorry.
Can we talk about movies that we recommend?
The what?
Movies that we recommend.
Recommend. I put the dates in front of it.
Wait.
That is outside of Prime.
Okay. We'll get to that. Let's talk about all the ones that we like. Before Boy,
we're late to the party.
Oh, I watched that a long time ago.
Yeah. So we saw this on Movie.
So if you have Movie and you haven't seen it,
do you want to say what? Do you want to say your thoughts on it?
I felt so tense for so much of that film. And I feel like it's something that a lot of Nollywood filmmakers cannot do for me, is give me tension. And that film gave me so much tension, which obviously was a good thing because that was the intent. I just really enjoyed it. It was so grounded. It felt so grounded in our reality, so grounded in our culture, in experiences. I even felt like the little pockets of rage that would drive someone to those sorts of extremes. Yeah, man, Before Boy was a really good experience for me, and by good, even though I was stressed the whole time. I think we watched it with a couple friends as well, and it was just everyone holding their breath and waiting for how this was going to turn out. And I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So without spoiling any of it, and Missy also done a good job there. I don't know whether people are aware of like the Alfred Hitchcock talking about the difference between shock and I think is it shock and tension or shock and shock is
the difference between suspense and mystery.
Yes, right. Yeah, right. Yes. And I think the shock is like, there's a bomb, it blows up, boom, and you weren't aware of the bomb, and it startles you. It's very quick. You feel it really quickly. There's obviously a time for that. And then there's suspense, where we show you there's a bomb underneath the table, and maybe it has a time of like 1.5 minutes, and for 1.5 minutes you're just waiting for the bomb to go off, right? Like you're just anticipating it, and that's tension. So this movie is, I don't know if anyone has seen Uncut Gems as well. I think Uncut Gems is a kind of like where like you see somebody and they're in a bad situation.
Mhm.
You just there's no good way
out of this.
there's no good way out of this mess. You're just waiting for us to have some respite from
Yeah.
it always feels like
Even there's going to be a less catastrophic way to get out of this.
Yes, but sometimes it just keeps on getting worse. Just keeps on getting worse. And it's
not getting worse in a way where you think, oh, this character is making stupid decisions, right?
Well,
or
inorganic
stupid decisions.
A Nollywood film like this, was it Nollywood or Sierra Leone? There was this guy that was Sierra Leone. I keep forgetting his name. It was that MME song, Goodwaki song set. I keep forgetting his name. I think he's Sierra Leonean. He had this film called either Paradox or something, where his life and you know, it followed every logical structure, and you're hoping he would get respite. But at the end, there was no respite, and that was the end of the film.
Wow. You have to find the name of that film and drop it us for us.
Yeah. Who knows the person I'm talking about? He's not Nigerian. I think he's from Sierra Leone. Vanessa, do you know one guy like that? I used to make Nigerian films with them. MMA song on Europe.
I'm trying to remember his name.
I just checked. I'm seeing a Nigerian Ghanaian that made a film Paradox in 2013.
Yes, he's not Ghanaian, no.
Because it's saying it's about a young man, a desperate man who is overlooked for promotion at work because he's unable to pay off his hospital bills for his pregnant wife.
Yeah.
That would allow. Is that the film?
Yes. So maybe it was shot in Ghana, but the guy in it is I think Sierra Leonean. I will remember the name. Maybe I should go and check. Maurice Sese.
Yes.
Yes. That's Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone.
It was super stressful from beginning to the end, and there was no respite.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I just remembered now, when this film ended, I thought, this is what an open ending is. Not the ending.
Direct shade to Green Fever.
It's not shade. We mentioned it in our space, right? On how that ending was not, it wasn't open, it was unfinished, right? This was an open ending. It's not resolved, but it's not unfinished. It's yeah. And so you've succeeded in keeping my attention going even past the ending of the film.
By the time it finished, I was like, I think this is the second best Nigerian movie I've seen. Obviously, Ayumafe is still number one. And then the credits come through, and
we see a few series. It's just credits.
I love a series in the credits. I was like, hey, you know what?
I believe in a series supremacy right now because
you know what, they got it. But also Chika is
also,
we can't sleep on her. She seems like she's a very good writer because she also did what's the name of this film she did?
Starts on S.
I can't remember. Shanghai, that's the one. Yeah.
And I think she did. We haven't seen that yet. It's not come. I do not come to you by chance.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. That's anything anyone else so that they want to recommend. Sorry for the people who haven't been able to get on. Just the space is full.
You people should watch Super Story on YouTube. You will not believe it, but the writing this is Super Story. If you look past it and a little bit of some production, you'll be like, wow, people do usually write things back then. That's what I'm recommending for you now. Don't say I didn't do you nice.
You know, I think the Super Story I remember the most is One Bad Apple. What's it, One Bad Apple? That's the one where they're like, TikTok goes the clock.
Yes.
That's got. Oh my God, Super Story was those are the good days, Sha. Every Thursday.
I mean, there is
Uh,
a reason
I want
why
to
Nollywood became popular across like Africa and the
Yes,
sub-Saharan or something.
yeah, you have to mention Super Story because it was I think our most traveled TV series back then.
You
You
know,
know when we imported like Place of
telenovela.
Gold.
Televisions from South Africa.
Place of Gold. We imported a lot of South African shows back then, Incidingo and all
Mm-hmm.
of those other stuff. And 2000 then the millennium and we had to export Super Story and I was very happy for us.
ooh,
It was
mm.
something back then actually.
I wish we could get back old Nollywood like story writing and maybe also acting because some of
You
those
know
acting
what? You know
and
what?
mix
Like
it
I,
with
I
like the
know some people
production.
like to look down on the theatrical influences that made Nollywood, right?
Yeah,
But when it comes to the writing,
it was way better.
you cannot deny that the having a background in actual theater made the writing better.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
what we are getting now as dialogue and story development and plot lines is not making. Let's not lie, let's not steal. It didn't make. So it,
Can we
Also,
talk
I
about
want
plot?
to also mention that a lot of some of these newer filmmakers did go to the abroad film schools. Okay, so
but what did they learn when they were there? I don't know.
I just want to mention that. So it's not like they don't necessarily know. You know,
This
remember the time.
question I asked though
Remember,
before people come
remember the
and
time
choke
they
my
used to say,
throat.
in Nigeria we don't have any. They don't have any education about filmmaking and everything. These people went to the abroad to do filmmaking. They paid abroad schools for
I'm
filmmaking,
happy for them, but it's like that thing where
and
some
that's
where
where they
they
came
have
back.
a back saying ability is not ability. Sorry, so some people will just go to school to learn things and probably school did not pass through them.
That's why
Wow, sounds
most
like
I
something
ask
Nigerian
questions
writer will write.
honestly.
People of God, we already have a bad reputation.
That's
Um,
bullshit.
Okay.
any other recommendation?
You know what, guys? Omoni Oboli has some gems on her YouTube channel. Like I
I was
was a
about to
bit
come for
skeptical.
money.
I was a bit skeptical. No, now wait. I was a bit skeptical when she entered the YouTube sphere. But like the first, like maybe the first three films, yeah, no. I was like, if you are going to come to YouTube to battle with the Uche Nambunabos of the world and the Ruth Kadris of the world, you have to come correct. And maybe it's because those first couple ones she was casting herself. I was like, my auntie, you are gonna have to clear road for the people that do usually do the YouTube. And it seems like she's found her stride, right? She's casting the people who make YouTube films. She's casting the Choma Okafors of the world and the Morisans of the world.
I want to
And
see Ray Dekao. Is that
But
his
but that
name?
thing that thing actually
I want
causes
to see
problems
him.
because there's on the streets right now. There's word that there's beef between Omoni Oboli and Ruth Kadri because Omoni used one of Ruth's actors. You know, they're very territorial about the
Now,
Ah,
wow.
talent of
Uchenna,
Ruth.
please.
You know,
I think
go
that's ridiculous because everyone and their mama has a new YouTube channel. Every week it's a
literally,
new.
some of these actors are
That's
making their own channels. I don't think there's
yeah.
any serious beef. Plus, I think a lot of the actors on YouTube, the filmmakers and producers on YouTube share the actors. Roots actors have done stuff with
Exactly.
Uchembunabo and the rest.
Yeah.
I don't think there's actual real beef.
But you know,
Yeah,
like
I
it's
think just to
but
put
it's probably Abuja based because you see it all the time. You can just walk down your road and you're shooting something on your streets in Abuja. But I'm happy for Abuja because I really want the Abuja film space. But then this new one, Wrong Side of Love, I was very happy to see people had seen on Halita.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the Abuja, not the importing Uche Montana from Lagos into and Sami into Abuja. I really like that they are using like the Abuja talents, which is great. Used to be my go-to, but even now, say some story you will just finish watching, you just be like,
And you'll be like, Kilon
God, this is my
Shele,
life.
but mhm.
I always watch a Rukadi movie because I think she's actually a good writer in some ways. Like
Ha.
in some ways, like I see
Has
something in
gotten
some of
better
her
than
writing.
Nairobi Times. It's true. I agree.
There's
True.
some
Yes,
there's
yes.
something like she knows how to make characters that not necessarily like okay, there's this one where she has the gossipy character, but she's a gossipy character with a heart of gold and she acts and writes that very well. And I'm like, she is actually a very good like writer, because not many, you may go to school, you may do MFA. Sometimes you don't know how to write those type of characters, you know? But I am coming for Omole Oboli's latest one that I watched, which is the only one I have watched. So I cannot talk about it. But I will give my fair warning, my something. I've only watched like 30 something minutes of this. It does have good the good actor, meaning Bimbo, is in it. So that's why I also want to watch it. And the guy is hot. Except this is just one thing. Why is it so? What is up with the writing? What is, hey, boss? And then he starts calling her name, and then it goes back to boss. And I'm like, what script is this? Even if I can forgive
Oh, I
production,
remember the one you're
3130.
talking about. I didn't like it either. It's with
It,
SODK and Bimbo, right?
yes, the guy is hot.
Yeah, no, I didn't enjoy that one. Omoni has hits and misses, guys.
It was really bad writing. Like your bad writing is now making me see your production. Like, why is she carrying around a tab? She's the boss of the something. There should be a desktop. Just because you're on YouTube doesn't mean basic production doesn't make any sense. Okay?
Oh, you go, but what
And
if
also,
they don't have money for
but we
Mac?
need to also
No, no,
remember
no.
that
But the
Now,
workers have desktop. What they could have done, take one of those desktop and put it in our something. And when you finish shooting, take it
you
back.
have to understand. They say budget constraints.
Oh, but I
You
would
just
have
have
even
noticed.
to. You
a
have
No,
to
lot
no,
of
no,
close
no.
your
I
eyes
would
European
have
when
films.
noticed
you
that.
decide.
Again, this is not budget constraint. It's just moving stuff around. I would
Yeah,
have.
you're right. I
I would
agree.
have I would have forgiven it. I would have forgiven anything if the script was not as terrible. Your terrible script is letting me realize and letting me focus, because I have to focus on something. If it wasn't the terrible script and the boss, what are you talking about? And now I'm seeing.
And you can say distract me with distract me with good writing. Okay,
Which
sorry.
brings me back to a
Yes.
privilege. Sorry, guys. Sorry, our C's. So brings me back to there's this prevalent jibe on Twitter that says, forget story. If the camera quality is good, people will watch it. I'm here to tell you that you lie.
A lie from the pits of hell.
I am here. I promise you that is a lie. The only person that has gotten away with it is Black Book. And Black Book is an outlier because I demand that Black Book be replicated. It shan't be replicated. Once
Yeah.
they replicate it, I will eat my shoes and I will agree. But if you give me bad scripts and you say, look at my camera, I bought it brigidim billions. They use it in Tenet. They use it in Interstellar. Our music came from the above. I'm sorry. People have been lying to you. But look at us talking about YouTube now, because I watch Wrong Side of Love and I've been having bad experience. In fact, I'm afraid to log into my Prime. I've been trying to watch Mr. and Mrs. and I've not finished it because each time I enter Prime like this, I'll just see Japa new on Nigeria. I will just quickly, because it's like releasing ship, it's like cheaper by the dozen. Bam, bam, bam. It's like Prime is trying to clear their library before exiting quickly. Pam, 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 releasing. And I'm feeling overwhelmed, right? Growing up, if you give me food and it's big, I won't eat that food. So, not to tell you about my life, but this is what it feels like. I'm inundated, guys.
I,
So, if your
by
camera,
the way, Elizabeth, you're not the only person who has been scared of going to Prime. I actually found myself. The funny thing is, I wanted to go watch like you. I wanted to go watch a film, not a Nollywood film, and the thought of just going to that place where I was just like, oh, I'll do something else. And so you're not alone. I'm just glad, as also somebody else. I think I tweeted about it. Like,
Also, just absolutely ridiculous that anyone would still think, oh, they can distract, the audience with shiny stuff.
it works to a
Because,
degree, but
you have to have $1
You know,
million.
they
You have
can't.
to have a $1 million budget
You
to do
can't
it
do that.
because honestly, people will forgive so much if the story is good. If you give them an engaging story, I will forgive a lot.
Yeah.
Indeed. And I think this is the one thing that Nollywood is forgetting. You don't have the money to use shine to bamboozle people. You are
Is
not
this
Right.
as
Shine
obsessive.
to
I'm
go
just
from
going to
house
say,
to house to house?
you're not as obsessive like one car wise films, right? You're basically using visuals to tell me a story. You're basically using visuals. A lot of one kawaii films are like that. But one kawaii is obsessive and he has money and they give him a lot of money and like tell a Nigerian actor to repeat the same scene like 25,000 times. Like the Nigerian actor will not kill you in your head. That's the thing about working with Waka Wai and all those people, right? They're very visual. They have the money. They're obsessive and they have the money. In Nigeria, you don't have that time. You're not obsessive and you don't have the money to be doing big. You're not Christopher Looney that does really big things and is like, I love Inception, but Inception could be written better and done better with somebody else. But Christopher
All right.
Looney,
Okay. All
Christopher
right.
Nolan, sorry,
Okay.
let me finish.
All
Let me
right.
finish. Let me finish. I love Inception. Inception is one of my favorite movies. But Christopher Nolan does big set pieces. He has the money for that. You don't have it in Nigeria.
I,
So give me good story.
But if he has the money, please.
Anyway. All right. Can we go to Damola? You're breaking up as well. Is it just me?
quick
Right? It's
question.
breaking up for
Why?
everyone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's breaking up.
yeah.
Damola, you're using
Damola,
main
stop
one.
Guys,
using
we're gonna
glow.
point.
Stop using glow.
You're using main one in your country. I
All
promise
right.
you.
Okay. All right. No. So let's do. I guess I don't want to do this. Recommend. That's a waste of time. Let's just go into any other thing anybody has been watching outside Nollywood that they wanted to share.
Bluey!
I
Oh,
watched Gentleman. I think the first three episodes were okay. I think after that, it sort of like felt redundant to me. I still watched it, and then the end, that beats at the end, like taking out their competition. I'm like, okay, maybe. But I wanted to say that the very first episode of The Gentleman with the guy from Divergent, don't ask me his name. I wanted to say that the very first episode, I actually watched it because I had tried to watch Green Fever and I ran away. And then I saw Gentleman and I'm like, what do I do with my life? So I watched the first episode. And it was the kind of comedy that I would watch. Like, okay, it's Guy Ritchie. And I'm like, this is how it should be. And if I don't like to compare with Nigerian films because I'm just like, just do the basics, guys. Like, because this is basically basic. But you can see that the actors, the editing, filmmaking is really synergy, everything working together. So it makes the very first episode something to watch. Then I watched Damsel. God saw us through. That's all I can say. I watched it because, yeah, I like fantasy. It's my thing. It's my jam. So I watched it. I finished it. I was just like, okay, God will see us through in Nigeria. That's all.
I
Thank you.
wanted to
Again, I
plug.
say Bluey.
You know what? Yeah, I hear blue is very therapeutic.
I
Uh,
watch it. I watch 3 episodes every night before I go to bed. It's fantastic.
Like the Blu-ray that my kids watch.
Yes, that
yeah,
Bluey.
Okay, I should try it.
It
yeah.
is
Please,
beautiful. I love it so much.
It has
can you
all
I'm a
the
spell the
bingo and I'm
lessons
a
and
bingo and
everything.
muffin stand, by the way.
Vanessa? Please, can you spell the blue? I didn't get.
Bluey. It's an Australian cartoon about a family of blue heeler
Dogs.
dogs,
Yeah,
and they're great. It's fantastic.
it's very wholesome.
It's so good. It's 10-minute episodes. Seriously, it's fantastic. Genuinely, I love it so much. I'm a bingo and muffin stan because I love the chaos. I also really just love how wholesome it is and like it encourages parents to play with their children. Because sometimes, as a Nigerian, right, when I first started watching it, I was like, how are their parents just giving into every single whim, these children? Like all of a sudden, the children have invisible powers to make their parents invisible. And here goes their dad actually playing invisible in like 2 seconds. I'm like, huh? It, it took me a minute to adjust, right? But I was like, I love the fact that their parents are just giving in and actually being a part of the play. And yes, in as with most children's things, there's always a lesson to be learned at the end, but it's not like the most profound lesson of anything. It's like tiny little drops and tiny little bites, and it's just really therapeutic for mom, dad, child, sister, anybody. It touches on serious stuff, but like in a very fun way. There's an episode about depression or like just feeling really sad, and their dad is on a beach and he does something that Bluey tells Bingo to do when she's feeling like depressed or hurt or angry, and she tells her sister to collect the hurt from like the left side and throw it as hard and as far as she can. And their dad does the same thing because he was feeling down the entire episode. And it's the sweetest little thing, guys. I'm obsessed with Bluey. Thank
Fine,
you.
I'm
That was my
sold.
Bluey rant.
I wanted to plug one day, not the film, not the Anne Hathaway film, the series, the British series. Yeah. Has anyone seen it? I mean,
Hearing
I don't want
about
to.
all the tears, but I'm not emotionally ready
What's the
to.
title?
Yeah,
One
one
day.
day. I don't want. I want to.
Oh yeah,
I
I've
want
seen it. Oh
Vanessa to
God,
see
I
it
saw it.
because it's really
I know
good
I
love.
don't watch things that make me cry. So
Yeah,
sorry.
but
I've read
that
the watch the film, and I still put myself through the series. Let's just
I
end it
So
there.
sorry. Everybody in my
I
office was talking about it. I
I
was like,
had
I'm not
bad
watching
dreams
it.
for 2 days after watching it, but it's a really
So
good
why would you
film.
wish
You're
that
not
No, no,
upon
no,
selling
no,
me?
this
no. It's
thing,
a
Why
really
would you
Wayne.
wait.
wish that
No,
upon
it's a
me?
really good film. It's just like
Akbar,
it's
we
traumatic,
Don't
but
don't
it's
say
care.
it
good.
like this. Know your audience.
No, because it's good. Like we are watching. This is cinema, yeah. So this is, and we are
Everybody
like,
what you say there's romance, there's love.
there's
You guys,
Okay,
everything
and
in
you
it.
said
hear
that
this.
you couldn't sleep for 2 days.
Don't go back with your friend that is pretending to not know that you're in love with them. That's it,
No, no,
guys.
no. But it's
That's
but
the
this
lesson.
story is beautiful.
Or you
This
will
story is
die.
beautiful. Please, this story
Ah,
is beautiful. Please, it's
I don't like such. I
and
don't
then
I'm
the
like
trying
such.
I'm
acting,
trying to
Vanessa, the
emotionally
acting.
ginger myself to watch it. We'll get there eventually.
Okay, it was well shot. It was well done. The dialogue is great. I'm impressed about how on like when you're adapting books to film, sometimes it does you feel like it doesn't work. If people like the film. I don't know. I can't remember if I like the film. It's been a long time, and I didn't rewatch because I usually watch my films if I like it again. But and if it's romance, well, one day has only taken me one day to watch. But I can't remember the film. But the series, I set to put myself through it, knowing fully well. But I have this thing where if I've read the book, I want to watch the execution and compare about the difference. And I think that the series was well done. They expanded in
Perfect,
ways that the
perfect,
film
perfect.
couldn't. Yeah, so it's perfect.
What
But in
Wagyu?
case you people want to watch film that is made that adaptation of book, you guys can watch Pride and Prejudice 1995 with Colin Firth. Very beautiful. Is the BBC TV.
Oh, I lost Mo. Am I the only one? I
She's
lost
using
Just said
everybody.
Damola's
you.
internet. Yes, she's using Damola's internet.
Okay.
West
So
What
Africans are going
Wagyu?
through a
Have
lot,
you guys talked
I,
guys.
about
I I
Wagyu?
want to make a couple of recommendations. This is an old but classic. If you like rom-com, Jab We Met.
Oh,
Amazing.
darling, you don't have to recommend Jab we met. Darling,
I know, right? I know.
it's
But no, I
iconic.
rewatched it again. So
It's
that's why I
iconic.
mean,
I watch it. I watch it at least twice every year.
really,
Sorry,
Yes,
what's that? Sorry, what's that
Jab
Jab
called?
We
we met.
Met.
The
It's a
2006 or
classic.
2004 Indian film, Bollywood film,
Bollywood film.
starring
It's a
Shahid
classic.
Kapoor.
It's a classic. It's lovely.
And
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm obsessed.
I know.
I
I
know all
know.
the songs.
Oh,
I sing all the songs all the time.
so
It's fantastic, guys.
fantastic. Wonderful. Now
Pivot
for
from romance. Something I watched was Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge, the
I love that
animation.
for you.
I stumbled on it on HBO and I just started it. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Super violent, very gory, but it was still fun. And then I tried the other ones and they were not as fun, which was very disappointing for me. I thought I had found my new thing. But yeah, that was fun.
with yeah, and like for currently airing for the four episodes, I will say Queen of Tears is really doing well.
Is it Korean?
Yeah, Queen of Tears.
Of course it is.
What's it? Kim Soo-yeon is back. The guy from like my love is from the Alien,
I'm
and
the
the
wrong
girl.
person to say names. I
Oh,
don't.
okay, okay. Yeah, and like I'm so sorry. It's like funny and it's nice, and so far it's been going good. And Dr. Slump too is, I don't know what happened after like episode 12. I don't know why all of a sudden the white chalk of death came out of nowhere, and I was just like, okay. But up to then, it is a healing romance. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I haven't gotten back into my watching Very Twisted Things yet, but I'm going to try to watch Anatomy of a Fall and Zone of Interest and all of those other ones
Oh
to
my
see.
God,
Oh yeah, we just saw Anatomy
Anatomy of
of
a
a Fall.
Fall is very,
Is it good?
very,
Yes,
very
yes,
good.
Okay.
it is.
I want to go watch
Also
those.
got me very interested in the French legal system, to be honest, because I have never seen anything like that court scene. Obviously, I'm not a criminal, as contrary to what some people might believe. So I've not really spent time inside a court. But we watch all these movies that have all these court scenes, and the French one just seems so different from anything I have ever seen depicted on TV. It seemed a bit wild, which
We're
kind of accounts
Anglophiles.
for
Let's
France.
not lie. We're Anglophiles, so it would be nice to see the French ways. And honestly, I say this: we're very lucky in Nigeria that it's the British, not the French.
Honestly, it seems like a terrifying place to be on trial in, to be honest. But yeah, that Anatomy of a Fall was really interesting.
Yeah, I really liked it. One of the best court dramas maybe the best
Oh,
court
did you
drama
guys see Godzilla, the one from
Oh my God,
Japan?
that was Anatomy of a Fall.
Godzilla,
Yeah,
Godzilla plus one,
I'm just one.
Yeah, I
minus
want to
one.
watch that too because I've heard good things about it. So I have
Oh,
a
you
couple
should
of things to
see it.
watch to see
You should
if
see
indeed.
it. Vanessa, you like the ending of that one if you haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. If you say I will like the ending, if I
You
don't
Godzilla
like
like
plus
the
the
ending, I will
ending.
grab you.
If you don't like the ending, hook my shit.
No problem.
Godzilla plus one. It has a loving ending.
I said Vanessa will like the ending. You haven't seen it. Don't let me give you spoilers.
Okay.
But you will like it too.
Sorry, are we already on
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
Nollywood
we
Catch Up?
are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, who
Oh,
loves
sorry.
Lindsay Lohan here? Because we've got a Lilo comeback,
Yeah, I
guys.
know. I'm going to watch that after the.
Just to let you watch it.
I watched it the other day. I love it so much. I love that she's back, and I love that she's doing these like Hallmark-esque films, but like for Netflix because more prestige, and
But of
like,
course.
of
Why do
course,
you
and
know doesn't enjoy that movie?
It is always
and she
good.
got a whole magazine cover for it. I'm sorry, I love it so much. She was adorable in it. The acting wasn't bad, and it was a cheesy rom-com setting that in
That's
the
like
Irish
him.
Hills, but I loved it.
See,
Sue
I wanted
me.
to watch it today and I refused.
Hey, Mr. C.
It has 30%, 30 something percent on Tomatoes.
Because what
So
does
All
Rotten
the best
Tomatoes know
Hallmark
about
films do,
romance?
okay?
I
If you
mean,
want
I
to
have
watch
to agree with
romance,
you.
don't go to Rotten Tomatoes.
If you
Oh.
want to watch romance, don't go to Rotten Tomatoes.
Don't
They don't give you
go.
an accurate description of what it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
No.
do. What's that movie with what's her name? The one that married Nick
Before
Jonas.
I don't believe you.
Priya,
Priyanka Chopra. The movie that she
yeah.
did with the guy with the Scottish guy
Wait, is it
with
not you again or
Celine
something?
Dion in
You
it.
again, yeah.
Yes, that movie was
Yeah,
so
I
good.
didn't.
I watched it. I went to the movies to go watch it. I was so happy that went to the movies and I paid for it. I was more happy than I paid for paying for that movie than I was for Barbie because Barbie was not subversive as people were telling me it was. But that movie was amazing. And then I went to Rotten Tomatoes. Me and my friend loved that movie. It was like, oh, this movie is bad. I was like, fuck you.
Exactly. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't know what they are doing when it comes to
I
romances.
know, right?
Please.
Rotten
Let's
Tomatoes
not
does
do
I
that. They
like
don't know.
I don't
don't
like
believe in
historical
Priyanka's
films.
abilities, to be
Oh,
honest.
one
Not
more
gonna lie.
recommendation. This one is joy. This is like a good bad movie that you can enjoy that is not necessarily completely bad. But you think this is progress for the director compared to what he gave you the last time on Netflix. Um Mega Kappa? What is the one with Kelly Rowland?
No.
Ah, no,
Let's
who
not
is
do
that?
this. Let's not
No.
do this.
No,
With
no, no,
that.
no, no,
Let's
no,
not
no,
do
no,
this.
no, 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 no.
Let's not
Absolutely
do
not.
this.
No,
Oh
no, no,
my
no, no,
god.
no.
Let's not do this.
No,
No, no, no, no, no.
only the line where the guys, do you notice that he said that this guy was getting high, is an astrologist, and he was getting high on his own stick? I'm
Yo,
like, wait,
he
what?
cannot just stop at one thing. He's not just unemployed. He went to his job
I,
high as an
I was
anesthesiologist.
just like, So you're telling me this guy uses anesthesiological drugs? How can he get high? What? How is he even walking around in his office if he was high on that? It's anesthesia. Okay, you know what?
I
Whatever.
don't know that he got high off his own
They said
supply. I
like
think he
no,
got high on something
the
else.
line was like, oh, you were smelling and smelling drunk. So meaning I was like, okay, the guy was using weed and alcohol. Those are the things that people can smell on you when you're walking into or something. And then the next line went, an anesthesiologist getting high on his own shit. I was like, those are two different things, and we have a bigger problem in this marriage than definitely him being unemployed because he's
Like, what's this
using
film? Like, what
anesthesiological
film is this?
drugs, which means he's going to die. There's a reason why we have
I don't know why
anesthesiologists.
you are discussing this film. Me, I didn't watch it because
Oh, you should watch it.
I have
What
a
film are we
personal
talking
No
about?
need, no need.
principle.
Okay, okay.
Tyler
I have a
No.
Perry's Mia
personal
Culpa,
principle,
and
and it is
nobody should watch
Oh,
that.
if
I'm
I
sorry.
and the scene where they sleep together. Literally, that girl just got up and then you jumped on him. I was just like, what? Nope. Mm-mm. I loved it.
I'm sorry you
Honestly,
asked
I
me to
feel
watch
like
it.
Tyler
Though.
Perry has never met a woman in his life. I know
Do you
we've
know why
seen
you
pictures
asked
of
me
him
to watch
next to women, but it must be Photoshop. Because
That's right.
he
But
writes like he
I
has
will say
never met
something.
a woman in his life.
I will say the painting scene was definitely erotic. But before that, I was just like, what?
Eh, Oh, okay.
No,
That's what you
no,
like.
That's
Let
not
me
what I
just
no,
tell
like.
you, it's
That's
not
not
a
necessarily
If
what
film.
I
that's
like.
what you
But
like,
like
no.
it's fantasy. It's fantasy erotic. It's fantasy erotic. The guy is hot.
Just
So
say
you
fantasy,
confused. So
yeah
what
you
kind of
now.
confused.
What is
fantasy,
fantasy erotic?
Sha?
No,
Please, what is
no, that's not
fantasy
what I like.
erotic? Is it Mekopa?
I'm dying here. What is fantasy
I'm
erotic?
just gonna say
Are we
like
talking about Mekopa
like
here or
impossible
whatever?
things that should not happen in real life that is actually dangerous for you to be doing in real life. But in fiction, it's acceptable. You can do whatever the work you want in fiction.
Are you trying to tell?
There is no
Megan,
world where
please.
that
Say you.
painting is acceptable.
Look here.
No world.
I
I
love it.
cannot suspend enough disbelief to condone that level of yeast infection. I am sorry, no. Absolutely
Excuse
not.
me, it's movies. We are supposed to. I know, right? In real life, don't ever do that shit. But
Absolutely
like
not.
Oh,
in
God.
fact, in movies, you are free to do it. Like in movies, you are free to do it. It's not real life. Can use perfection.
Was it that song? Was
Tyler
it that
Perry
song?
will not see a kobo from my hand as long as I live. The
You know
last
what?
film I watched, he killed somebody because he gave them HIV because they cheated. That was the last film I watched from his. Look, I gave him a chance when I watched My Dear Kiniko Kiniko when I was in uni, and then that Diary of a Mad Black Woman. When I got older, I realized that he made that guy is anti-woman. I will explain. He made Diary of a Mad Black Woman because did you guys watch Waiting to Exhale? Is that
Yes,
now Waiting to
a
Exhale had
favorite.
yes had this babe's character get our money back from her husband and all of that. We see these women struggle, right? But they were not, even in their sadness, there was a little bit of pick me up. There was, and I feel like Tyra Perry felt like Whitaker didn't do a great job with the delivery of or the resolution of what happened to those women. He decided to take one of the stories and say, you know what, your husband will be shit to you, wicked to you, but you will walk away with no dime and you will marry that poor man. And he did it. And it worked, of course, for Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Then it worked another time for Madia's reunion. Worked another time, and then I think when you do something is first time, then the second time it becomes like maybe like a coincidence, and the third time, by the fourth time you realize a pattern, which was the thing which is the thing with Tyler Perry. It now became a pattern where he seeks to actively punish women who he feels like steps out of the mold, right? Like this is it. This is what we happen to. He felt like that is his calling to punish characters. Oh, I have these women around me. It's only you always punish. You know what? We are man. No, when he gave that lady HIV, I can't remember that film. Gave her HIV because not like I was one move step out of my. I was like,
Was
okay,
it
you know
not the
what?
film with the
Tyler Perry, I
therapist?
wish you
What
well.
was it called? The counselor and the
And all of you that
problematic.
watch Makeup Part 2, I wish you well.
I wish them well because me, I didn't watch that nonsense. After that,
You
I
know
stopped the
what?
same place you stopped too
You know
when
what?
he gave somebody HIV.
I think I see where Oyinkansi's growth is that he actually he didn't make the dark skinned man the villain, and the woman didn't get HIV, and that is a lot of growth
I
for
mean,
Tyler
growth
Perry.
from the last movie that I gave to Netflix. Guys, if you saw that, and they
Oh
paid him
yeah, no, that was
100. That's what I
atrocious.
mean.
You can't use that as a benchmark now. Come on.
That. No, I'm using that as a benchmark because that's the worst. That is the worst. That is, I'm telling you, for the amount of money that Netflix gave this man, he gave us those two horrendous production, horrendous writing, horrendous and Tyler Perry, like, as much as there's a reason why these people are popular, right? Tyler Perry does have talent. And there's some things that he does right there as well. I'm not one of the people that bashes Tyler Perry. I don't think so. I think Tyler Perry has written some good things, and Tyler Perry is not the best director, but there are things that are passable. Those two things that I gave to Netflix, especially the Medea one, it was horrible. And Tyler Perry did say he didn't want to play Medea anymore. Maybe they forced his hand to play it. He was horrible. Horrible. And Lord knows I don't say horribly easily. It was horrible. Horrible. There was no coming back from it. But from those 2 points,
I think it's a good.
this is growth. This compared to what those were,
The couple is not
Tyler
good,
Perry
I
deserved
beg.
an Oscar for this one. Compared to
Didn't
what
Tyler
this
Perry
one.
also do? Didn't he
Wow,
also
wow, wow.
do Jazzman Blues on Netflix?
What?
The Jazzman Blues. It's like this series. It's a series. Like black people, but it's like cast in the, I don't know the year, but it's like 60s, 70s, around that time of slavery period of time. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. Hearing of it for the first time, actually.
Like, it was good. It had good reviews. So that's why when you were saying right?
Sorry, Damola, your internet is after you again. Can anyone else hear him, or is it just me?
No, it was Wayne's, and Wayne's internet too has gone to the pit.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm using
sorry.
Glow now apparently. So I'm using Glow now, so I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Anywho, can
Also,
we...
people watch Salah.
I could have sworn Tyler Perry wrote The Color
Salah.
Purple.
It's a Telugu
If I
film
didn't,
on the Netflix.
I would have sworn he wrote the pop. Is it Color Purple? Whatever the Color Purple. If I didn't know better, I would have sworn he was the one who wrote it because that movie too. I had my issue with the movie actually.
Do you have an issue with the movie, or do you have an issue with the book or the whole story?
I don't think I've not read the book, but I think I have my issue with the main character because I feel like the main character was just there, the whole thing was happening to her, and then someone came to save her, kind of thing. It just felt like should I say, a plot-driven story, not a character-driven story. But with the whole thing that happened to her, if I don't know better, I would have said, "Oh, Tyler Perry wrote this movie."
Wow. I haven't seen any make of The Color Purple. I don't think I'm going to see it. Not anytime soon, anyway.
Same. But I'll tell
I'm
you
not.
people.
I'm not in the mood for. I'm not in the mood for those kinds of emotions. But yeah. Anyone else watching anything?
I said Salah. You people should watch Salah on Netflix.
Series. Gentlemen,
All right. It's
I'm
under the space,
the
Vanessa. Comment under the space so people can find it.
Salah, where should we watch Salah?
On Netflix. Netflix.
Vanessa, I'm holding your
Please
word
spell
for
it. Spell it.
I'm getting SALAAH, yeah.
SALAAR.
Oh, okay. Salah. All right.
Is it Indian? Is
It's
it
a
Bollywood?
Telugu film, please.
Yeah, Telugu is different
Oh.
from Bollywood. It's Indian, but Telugu.
Salah.
I think they make better films than Bollywood.
This is
I
exactly
think
what
they
I'm
make
saying.
better, more like the suspense and the something movies.
And not
Yeah.
exactly over the top too much. Sometimes over.
I didn't mind it. At first I was like, where is this going? And then I realized I liked it. So
Yeah.
it's on Netflix, guys.
Can we complain about
Realized you
social
liked
marks? Mr. C, can we have a section to complain about social marks after this?
I mean, it's outside that. If you want to talk about something, it's on Showmax. Talk about something, it's on
Talk
Showmax.
about it.
you.
Oh.
Those of us that cannot access Showmax anymore have beef, but
Exactly, and
whatever.
they're taking our Benza.
Okay, so let me just
And
tell you, people, take my word for it. Even if they tell you that it is a lie, still that I said so. So I don't know what's happening with Showmax. So they did this colorful thing. I think they rebranded. I opened my app one day. The thing has turned from 3 colors to some color with an. I was like, okay, maybe this is it. This is the way to go. Flossom is back. I tried to watch it. I watched the first episode. The plot also is not trying to go anywhere. And we have this, the way we write now is like our characters are trying to just throw in cubes here and there, like cube, like comeback, like witty remark, like strong remark, like what do you think? To real long. Like all the characters are even now speaking. Like in the first season, the characters they were distinct though. And you will know when Sharon's character is talking or when Bisola's character is talking. But now everybody is just, that one writer, one voice. Everybody has one voice and they are basically trying to one up the other. But point is that I'm like, why am I like, it's not even giving me bad Flossom. Season 1 was so bad that you have something to talk about, right? Like it was so bad, you like, let me watch episode 2. I don't know if we can get better. Then you watch it like, wow. Let me watch episode 3 if we can get better. But now you're even like, you're not bad, you're not good, so you're not even exceptional in anything. So that's one for Flossom. So I have to watch this.
Sorry, for Flossom, that's what Mr. C was afraid of with season 2 because we were really enjoying Flossom because it was bad.
Yeah,
but we were afraid they were going to make it a less enjoyable bad in season 2.
No, now it's just like flat line. It's like plateau. It has plateaued. I'm like, you're not good, you're not bad. What are you? So no. If it was bad, it will have like, let's see how bad I can get. And then, so Showmax has this.
I think.
Did you say what? Sorry.
I saw an episode of season 1 of Blossom. I was like, no, I can't do this. So when season 2 came out, I tried to see maybe it would be better. They said there is a new writer on it, and I saw episode 1. Ah, my God. That was when I knew that this thing can never get better.
I know the plot was just movement, no direction. It was just
just do things and we should know that there's nothing going on. Just people talking.
Anywho, you had another thing on Showmax to talk about.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. So I have been liking, since after Rihanna and Rihanna and Ajoche, which I think I ended badly, and Rihanna, which sort of like, kind of like helped, like was better. So I was having this thing for like epics, right? And then on TV, we had that Yoruba epic that I thought was horrendous. Couldn't watch it. But then I realized also that it seems as though that when I don't understand the language or the world that has been built, I am less critical of it. So I take it at face value, like whatever you give me is what I'm going to go with. And maybe that's why I liked Ajoche and Rihanna. Even if Rihanna is not like, I wouldn't, I'm not a checking, so I wouldn't be able to say, oh, they misinterpret or misrepresented something. But anywho's, I tried to watch the Yoruba one. It was super bad. I didn't last. And then a bunch of African magic has not been good. But I was like, this Chetam, I've been seeing Chetam and I saw romance. As a romance girly that I am, I'm like, oh, they're going to give me epic romance. Front seat. I'm going to sit there. I started episode 1. No. I don't have a problem with them not putting the Igbo to sub. I don't mind it at all because, please, I grew up with free-to-air dish in our house. We used to watch Arab films, French films, not one single subtitle. And we'll be telling my mommy the story. So I'm like, yeah, I've done this before. This is my chance to learn Igbo. But it's not that they did not do subtitle, guys. The story too is not here, it's not there. So I'm like, Showmax, do you really want my money? Because this economy is a lot. Should I continue? And I even tried to watch Wura. Yeah, because I did like Wura the first. Don't mind me, I'd seen The River. I don't care. I just thought that Wura had something that Nigerian oomph to it. Showmax, I don't know what they are doing, really. It's like they woke up and went to go and call people in Africa Magic and say there is no difference between that and Showmax. I don't know what's happening there. And I'm very disappointed because I really like Showmax was like my comfort, like go to. Even if I don't find what I'm looking for exactly, I will try to find one show to watch. maybe if they bring, I'm even afraid for them to even bring that Crime and Justice Lagos, because if he bad, seeing as this is the trajectory they have taken. So that's my rant about Showmax. Thank you for listening.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's sad for I
I
have
thought
hope for them.
I thought the first episode of Shetam.
Sorry?
I thought the first three episodes of Shetam too, because I felt like they called it a romance. They showed it like this series is a romance series, like it's romance. So you and those first three episodes, I was searching for this romance. Like, where's the romance in this series? And I didn't know there was like a couple, and I think okay, these are the two guys they want to fall in love, but I didn't know how they fell in love. They were already in love actually, but I didn't like see how they fell in love. The whole thing, everybody was just fighting for the thing they do in other African Magic series, that epic series. That when someone is fighting for the crown, they are doing all that. The whole story was just all over, like all over. Nothing was happening.
All right. Showmax to take hits.
Did anybody watch House of Ninja?
Huh?
House of Ninja or something like that. Ninja House or something. It was on Netflix.
Where is
What country? What series? Like,
Okay.
what's it about?
Technically, it is Japanese, but it is directed by some white guy who studied Japanese.
Oh,
House of Ninja.
just like the brother's son, right?
House,
I think it's like the brother's son.
House of Ninja. It's a they're a family of ninjas, and it's just a good fighting scenes, and is in it, and it's pretty nice. I like it. It was nice, and I think people should watch that. It's on Netflix.
It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's on Netflix. It's technically it's Japanese, but it's Japanese-ish. It's Japanese-ish. But the guy did study about Japan, so I guess it's Japanese. They speak Japanese. It's set in Japan. It is something that came out of the head of a white man who studied Japanese stuff, I guess. It said it studied Asian stuff. I didn't exactly know what specific Asian region is, but on its own, it's pretty good. And I have seen some of those Japanese actors in other Japanese drama.
100% Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe I should give it a chance.
Yeah, if you watch Japanese dramas, some of the actors in there are actually actors you've seen in other Japanese dramas. So it is.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, but this Shogun.
No,
Sorry, I pronounced like a Yoruba man.
Shogun is American. They do. It's on my list to watch, and apparently it's based on an old movie from the 80s called Shogun. But Shogun is American. This one.
Yes, I know. I'm saying, how is it? Like, I'm asking if anyone has seen it. Like, how is it?
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list to watch, but I haven't seen it yet.
Watch the first episode.
I've seen Shogun.
Watch the first. I think Mrs. C likes it more than I do, but I do have.
I think I like it, but I think it's dragging now. It's dragging a bit. But I think I like it from the first 4 episodes I've seen.
And if you want to watch crazy soap opera,
it's about time to start winding down. I think we had a good chat, but I think as parting gift to the people who have been listening in, let's give people one recommendation you probably have, and maybe one, try to avoid this if you have seen it. There's no joy there for somebody. Save somebody some time. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
One good, I would say you should go back and probably watch Shawarije. It has subtitles, and most of the subtitles are kind of mostly okay. Avoid 3031. This is based on recent I've watched. Avoid Mega Kappa if you can. If you don't, enjoy it. It's wonderful in its own way. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Thanks.
Okay. Before I disappear, I want to recommend. So, if you like period drama, the way I like period drama, and it has romance, There is Belgravia. So I think I'm not so sure now. I think Belgravia should be ITV. It's period drama. It's nice. There was a first season. It's also written by the person who really writes my life. What's his face? What's his face? This is not the time not to remember. That did this. My enemies are after me, guys. This British show, this British period drama, who is currently doing the American period drama, Julian Fellows. Anyways, it's written by Julian Fellows. Julian Fellows knows how to write period drama. Yeah, he wrote Downton Abbey. Thank you. My name is Norwin. So Belgravia season 1 is nice, but I really, really love Belgravia season 2. Well done, well written. Julia Fellows has no competition. What not to watch? Just don't log into your Prime, guys. Just don't log into your Prime. That's all.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. All right, we still have, I guess, Vanessa and Nollywood Must Change, which and if you want to give a recommendation and avoid.
Okay, I would recommend. There's a series on YouTube, a young adult series on YouTube. I want to talk about it. Boy Meets Girl. Is it Boy Meets Girl or Girl Meets Boy? It's made by all these Abuja filmmakers. So I think I liked season 1, but season 2 they were trying to just end it, so they did not do very well. So I would recommend that for anyone who wants to see young adult series. What to avoid? Please don't go to Prime for now. Avoid Nollywood on Prime. Don't do that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nollywood Must Change.
I don't know what to recommend, to be honest, because at the end of the day, what I like might not be what you like. But also, I'm not going to ask you to just go blind and dilly-dally about Prime, Nollywood on Prime, especially if you want to watch the two Aishas. Please don't. Also, don't watch Different Strokes. Also, don't watch Japa. Also, don't watch Life. Again, like everybody has said, don't go into Nollywood or Prime with your eyes closed. Except you are prepared to
Don't
watch
watch
bad stuff,
Silence.
then go right ahead.
All right, thanks, Vanessa. Icha, anything popping in your head in terms of what to recommend or what to avoid? Icha, are you there? All right, Mr. C, anything?
If you can somehow find a way to get your hands on B for Boy, I would recommend that. If you have cinema money, go see Dune. And what to avoid, Japa. Avoid it. Don't do that to yourself. And definitely don't watch Mea Culpa. It's not even good bad. It's just bad.
All right. Yes, Mrs. said B for Boy. Hey, I was trying to. The other thing I had was not really Nollywood. I watched Easy A this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Emma Stone, a young Emma Stone. I love that. It's kind of a rom-com, but the rum is not there until the last few minutes. But it's still like it feels like it's still an interesting comedy. So I'd maybe watch that for something light. I saw what's the name of the Korean movie I saw recently? God damn it.
Oh shit. Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave. Thank you, Mrs. C. So
I but I do understand.
I can't hear you.
I second that. Decision to Leave. Second that.
I saw Decision to Leave. That's one of the strangest love movies I've ever seen. It is kind of a mystery love movie. That's amazing. Anyway, well, yes, that's my recommendation. And most people have said the things to avoid. I think the one for me that is Japa
life. I think there's two. They feel like a disregard for your time. So yeah, those are my one. But anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us today to discuss, what we've been watching.
Thanks, everyone. I think we should do this more. Yeah, more.
Yeah, well, no. Hopefully we don't have to do this more.
Hopefully we don't have to, but I don't know, man. It's nice.
All right, so no, I was thinking next week was the what do you call it? This Afrif movie by Kayode Kasum that people think is maybe his best movie so far. But I think that may be in 2 weeks' time rather than
That
two
is in
Fridays.
2 weeks. Actually,
Yeah.
the Kujis again drops on Prime next week.
All right, we'll probably do that. And that's
Let's not
probably
commit
not.
to anything.
Yes. Let's not commit. Hopefully, maybe
Me, I
something
wasn't
else.
suggesting. I just mentioned though.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not going to hold your trust. Relax. All right. But yeah, we'll put out what we're watching. But thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.